I just did the entire Space News intro with the mics muted. Just thought I'd let you know. You know, you can laugh at my misfortune if you'd like. Like, did the whole thing, had a whole bit. Yep. Nope. Not repeating it now. We're too far gone. It's too much. We're too far in. I'm still looking for you. We'll do it live. Okay. You pulled a Mr. Yak? Yeah. Did I hire the NSF sound guy? No. Kevin does a good job. Wait a minute. Replace the NSF intro background music with the song. Oh, the accordion inferno? This song? That one? I don't know what this song's about, but I like it. This is the Inferno, the Polka Brawl. The Polka Brawl, you know? All right. Shall we? There is one more link that I want to get that I was interested in reading. Where is it? I just need one more freaking link. Whatever, I can't find it. Can't find it. Do I buy my daughter and I a 12-pack of Flyers games this season? We aren't Flyers fans, but we like watching the other teams. Said so many Rage Against the Machine fans. Ratting around your family, pocket full of shells. People don't know what that means. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, do it. You know, worst case scenario, you and your daughter have a good time. I mean, it is Philly, but I'm just playing. Relax. Relax. Okay. So, there was one more thing. I can't find the dang link. My feed is just getting filled with politics that I don't care about. So, you know what's really cool? You know what's really cool? You know what you can do? You can snooze on the topic. I really wish it wasn't a snooze button. I really wish it was just a no button. Very important Starship news. Could you just link me a video of a lawnmower? Okay. 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 Lab took that picture, but all right. Don't hate it. Yeah. I can't find this last link. I guess there was an Ars Technica article about the tiles on Starship or whatever. I wanted to read it. I wanted to see it for myself, but yeah, well. Yeah, Alex, I know. It's really, in a civilized society, that would be unacceptable behavior. This one? Did you get it, High Clue? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. I wanted to read this. I wanted to see what's up. Because the tiles on Ship 40 looked really good. Like, really good. But I will get you through a little bit more, little bits of other space news here before we go and discuss that. And some airplane news, too. Joining the stream and seeing that video with no context was quite funny. Good. Yeah, Starman, we aim to please. You're not a fan, John? All right. Hey, sorry, your cat's on your keyboard, dude. You see it? Your cat's on your keyboard, bro. you might want to get the cat off the keyboard. So how does SpaceX get the ship back to the U.S.? A boat? All right. We'll talk about Starship in a second. Yep. Okay, so first bit of news here. Cat-like typing detected. That's absolutely cat-like behavior. Absolutely. All right, so we got something from Stoke. Stoke's saying the first of 3 of our Flight 1 engines are designed, built, and ready for testing, checkmark emoji. Stage 1 Zenith engines, ZE 14, 15, and 16 are ready to ship from our shop floor in Kent, Washington to Moses Lake for hot fire acceptance testing. Getting our Zenith engines through qualification testing is no small feat, and trusted vendors like Performance Sealing Incorporated, who can iterate at industry-leading speeds, are key to helping keeping our work on time and on track. Thanks emoji. Perfect emoji. Performance Sealing. I know a better one. Performance Sealing is good, but it's not Flex Seal. It's not Flex Seal. Hashtag not sponsored. It's now a Chroma Seal. All right. Whoa. That's strange. Anyway, let's see. Let's see what we got. Huh. Wonder what all these things on the nozzle are. To show the power of flex tape, I sawed this Starship in half. No, please don't do that, Phil. That's a lot of chroma. How about a little more? All right. Stoke is... so these Zenith engines are for Stoke's Nova rocket. Nova is a medium-duty launch vehicle, but it is fully reusable as well. It utilizes a very, very interesting second stage design, which is basically their second stage is shaped like a pod, and it comes back down and lands. Think I was about to say it's like Dragon 2 with its Super Draco when they wanted to land. And you know, that analogy would make sense if people, I mean, that's at this point that's just too old of a reference, I think. You know, like that's just, well, that, like, do people even remember that? Like, that was a long time ago. But also, if you want to see what the bottom of the second stage looks like, there you go. Their second stage utilizes a heat shield as a regenerative cooling device, and it's a metallic reusable heat shield. It uses the onboard propellants from the second stage to keep it nice and cool. Yeah, maybe Aqualunch, yeah. Yeah, SERV, right? It is like SERV, isn't it? Sea lasts for the bits at the nozzle. They are to align the nozzle panels. They will eventually not be there. Oh, cool. Okay. What is this? What is this guy saying? What is Mr. Zagorski, Kevin Zagorski, saying? Building next-gen space stations at Fast. I gotta say, the weld-stitch powder bed fusion regen skirt is a move literally every single engine designer has had in their trade studies for a decade, but no one had the guts to actually try and pull it off. Yep, you guys are right. Blake, the $10 super chat. Thanks, dude. Wasn't able to get back to the last stream to see if you chatted about it, but I was the one asking about Ship 40 possibly taking on water. It looks like it did take on water a little bit, Blake. Just a smidge, though. It's not a lot. I suspect. Oh, hey, Space Pope. Space Pope. Bless those engines. They're down. I mean, they're down the street from you, aren't they? I suspected. Actually, you know what? I'll be honest. I can't take credit for this. A user over in the Twitch chat named Spoiled Fruit came up with this idea, Blake. And it's okay if the payload bay is leaking, right? If it's leaking water and the whole letterbox dispenser is below the water line, right? Water's gonna eventually leak in. But there's no other way in and out of the payload bay except for the access hatches, which I believe are shut at this point in time. If the access hatches are shut, and only, I mean, it's not like they can open them. Only a person can open those up. There's no people near it. There's no people on board. The air volume inside of the payload bay is actually pressurized because the water is pushing up through the letterbox dispenser, right? And it's pooling in there, and it's actually pressurizing the air to an extent. And that actually seals the payload bay and makes it buoyant. So it is tilting a little bit from what we've seen. But, yeah, it's not bad. Blake Strix, what's going on? Hope you're feeling well, brother, and hope the family's doing well, too. Thank you so much. Yeah, Blake, what's up, dude? Okay, thank you so much for yesterday's BF stream, especially the last rounds when you started doing call-outs for different squads. It really hit home. We had you on stream up and running in the mess hall, and even our CW3 joined us. Thank you for the moments in the last. Also, a heads up, on the tap fire you do in BF6, you can use it in real life, too. My guy, keep up the good work. You're the best, and thanks for the streams. I got you, bro. I got you. Hell yeah. Yo, it is fire, Blaius. That's good. Well, Blake, there's plenty more where that came from, dude. I'm nursing a little bit of an after hours Battlefield addiction right now. And you know what? I'm good. I'm here for it, dude. I hope you guys are too. I'm having fun with that. And now that I got the spray down, dude, what I was thinking for Battlefield tonight, a little bit of a spoiler alert for after hours, right? Uh, the last round is how you play Battlefield. I mean, dude, we were rolling everyone. I didn't even do that well. Like, what the last thing I want to do is take all the shooting kind of data that I've been getting over the past couple of days, and then take the tactical stuff and combine it into one. I'm trying to teach people how to play Battlefield as well, right? Like, hey, go left, go here, don't charge them head on, don't fight a battle you don't need to fight, etc., etc. And I mean, if you guys enjoy it, that tells me I'm doing something right, and that is all the affirmation I need. You know, we're good, dude. We'll roll it all together. We'll roll it all together again tonight. So a little preview for After Hours tonight. Outdoorsman, thank you for letting me play BF6 last night. I'll join again sometime. You're welcome anytime, dude. I don't care. You might get back to streaming to get that feeling back again. Me too, man. I'm saying I was stream Battlefield as well. Platoons will change this channel. Weather guy, I ain't worried about what we're going to do with the platoon. I'm worried about if another team has a platoon. Think about it, dude. If there's another team and they have 16 people that all know what they're doing on a 32-person team, you will get your crap pushed in on some of these maps, dude. Geeks like I ain't worried. All right. As long as we just pub games, I'm using shooter terminology. As long as we just keep doing matchmaking and stuff, should be fine. But then we have ourselves some work to do, don't we? I mean, if you guys want to learn cover and concealment, I can do that. That's not hard. Honestly, it wouldn't take much. We pretty much already do it, but yeah. Holy shnikes, Snarford, you just gifted 50 memberships. I can't even speak straight. Are you a Call of Duty fan? I'm a shooter fan, Mustard. I played a lot of Call of Duty. I won't play the new one, though. I like Battlefield. Battlefield's one of my favorite shooters. Battlefield and Counter-Strike. But, dude, Snarfer with the 50 frickin'... If Platoons became a thing, I'd definitely play with you guys. Blitz, you're more than welcome to. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do for After Hours tonight. Yeah, we had almost 3 squads going last night, dude. And when you got 3 squads, like, yeah, it's fun. Like, I inadvertently play Commander mode. Dude, the members gifted subs are still popping off on the YouTube channel. What the actual frick, dudes? But anyway, little preview on Battlefield. We're gonna wrap it all together tonight and put a nice bow on it and then shoot at it. Because it's Battlefield. SCMOTs. I think that chat has got SCMOTs. SCMOTs? State Chat Municipal Offender Data System. Commander mode, yeah, Hazer. But yeah, we're gonna replicate Commander mode tonight. If people want to play. If not, we'll just do tactical shooting. It's so bad your country doesn't support memberships. Lev, don't worry about it, brother. Lev, I'll be 100% honest with you. You give me your time, and that's more than I could ask for. Don't worry about it. I don't care if people watch the stream for free. It doesn't bother me. You know? It's all good. You give me your time. Out of all the thousands of millions of ways you can entertain yourself, you chose my stream, and I appreciate that a lot. I don't take that stuff lightly. You know? So, let's get back to space news and roll. Well, Twitch chat loves you too, even if YouTube chat loves you more right now. Did EJ ever play Minecraft? I played in the Minecraft Alpha, Oliver. During the pandemic, Minecraft was our community game. Because I realized that during the pandemic, people had a lot of extra time, and including myself. So, we got a Minecraft survival save, and it was pretty fun. We built a city in it, and a shipyard. How do you think I knew about all those ships yesterday? We built all of those ships, those heavy lift ships. We built all of them in survival Minecraft. We built a whole shipyard. It was big, too. A couple square miles. And the city. You know, because you're full of ship. Yeah, that's right. We could do it, outdoorsman. Hey, David, what's going on? Or Anderson, David? Yes. Anyway, Snarford, you're the man, dude. Thank you. I gotta hop too on the car streams, but guys, every time I've gone to go do the car stream, something is broken on the car streaming setup. I have 3 monitors out there. One of them just stopped working. Completely stopped working, which sucks. So I have to go out there. I'm thinking just we'll overhaul the entire auto stream setup. I've been messing with it in the mornings and stuff. I need to get a couple of new cameras because some of the cameras that I was using for the auto stream were NSF's cameras, and they asked for them back. Das was like, hey, do you still have my cameras? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, can I have them back? I'm like, yeah. Pretty much spoiled. Yeah. So you'll see what it's for. Trust me. You'll see what it's for. Yeah, I think it might be time, Ernock. It might be time to redo that whole setup. I'm doing fine, Mir. How about you? All right. Next bit of space news. Let's go. This is coming from Catalyst Space Systems.
Go at throttle up.
Catalyst recently launched the Link mission. The Link mission is a mission extension vehicle that's designed to boost NASA's Swift Space Telescope, but Catalyst seems to have had some issues here. Swift mission update. Hey, Oliver, 5 francs. Love you, man. Hey, thanks, dude. Swift mission update. During commissioning, the Catalyst team encountered a series of technical issues related to attitude control of the spacecraft. Over the last 72 hours, the Link spacecraft has been in a multi-axis spin, causing a temporary loss of communications and subsequent bus reset. Uh-oh. Currently, the Link spacecraft has 2 out of 3 reaction wheels non-functional and partial RCS functionality. Link's other major subsystems, electric propulsion robotics, RPO sensing, rendezvous proximity operation sensing, and power are functioning properly, as well as S-band and L-band communications. Over the coming days, Catalyst will work to reduce the body rates using the gimbal electric propulsion thrusters and stabilize the spacecraft. We've already begun this series of burns and are seeing the intended effect. We anticipate the following steps over the next few weeks. Update the guidance, navigation, and control schemes to reflect the current spacecraft configuration. Verify and validate the updated control schemes and FSW with the end-to-end control schemes and FSW with end-to-end simulation and ground testing to thoroughly understand the interactions between subsystems with the updated configuration. Maneuver to co-elliptical with Swift using the updated control scheme. Perform inspection of Swift and other rendezvous proximity operations activities. Attempt to capture. With these technical issues, while these technical issues require a revised approach, our team is working around the clock alongside our NASA partners. The mission remains active, and we continue to believe that with these changes, Link has a viable path to rendezvous with Swift. We will provide additional updates on the situation as more info becomes available. Dude, if they can save that thing and then go get it to the other thing and save that thing, that'd be pretty good. We gotta save all the things, dude. Save all the things. So yeah. How do ion engines gimbal? That's the fun part. They don't. Yeah, that's the fun part. They don't. Because they use RCS to keep the spacecraft on the even keel. That would be the NASA we all know and love if they do. Mm-hmm. If they can't, how fast do you think a new mission could go? Not very. Not very fast. I mean, if Catalyst would need to make another link. And the launch vehicle for the satellite doesn't exist anymore, John. This was launched on Pegasus. The Strato-launched 2-stage or 3-stage to orbit launch vehicle that's jettisoned off of an L-1011. It's no more. They could send it on an Electron. It's not to say that there aren't other satellites or other rockets and launch vehicles that they couldn't launch on. It's spacecraft interfacing. It was designed to work with Pegasus. Anyway, yeah, we'll see. This next one is a little bit weird. What is this? Space and Technology _ unveiling the wonders of the cosmos, breakthroughs in innovation. spaceandtech.contact@gmail. Meet Sunbird, a nuclear fusion-powered space tug concept from Pulsar Fusion. Using a dual direct fusion drive fueled by deuterium and helium-3, it could one day help spacecraft reach Pluto in about 4 years. Orbital demonstrations are planned for 2027. Oh yeah? Hopefully they have their ion thrusters on gimbaled booms. Here's an example from the Northrop mission extension pods.
Oh, in just 4...
Ow. Sorry. Build, those can move? Wait a minute. I thought that was a fixed thing. Hold up a second. I may be wrong. I may have been wrong here. JC, hold up. Huh. Look at that. I didn't know that could do that. I thought it was just deployed and it sits there. Huh. Interesting. Like, see, I thought they were kind of fixed. Like, this stuff doesn't move. Boeing 702 SPF gimbaled ion thrusters as well. Not sure who else does that. Well, there's your answer. So it's not gimbaled, but you do have thrust vector control, but it's more like the thrusters on the end of a robotic arm than anything. Look at that. Space. The final frontier. It's got nacelles, dude. We just need to put some warp nacelles on this thing. We're good to go. These are the voyages of the satellite Northrop Grumman mission extension pod. Its continuing mission: to service strange new satellites, to seek out stranded satellites and new satellite orbits, to boldly go where no satellite has ever gone before. Dun 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 dun. The buffs would get warp nacelles first. Yeah. Space. And allow you to butcher pop culture. Yeah. Where's the lie, Hellfish? Where's the lie? There isn't one. DARPA. See that? That says DARPA. That stands for Hellfish is a douche canoe. There you go. If you ever wondered what it stood for, it's definitely not Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. Anyway, cool. Next slide. So this is this is not Pulsar's account here. The Creeper, this these Sunbird things, yeah, this is Pulsar, yeah, Space and Technology with Pulsar X Pulsar Fusion. Dude, frick this account. Frick this account. Just man, look at all this stuff that's not. Oh, there we go. Have you talked about the Falcon 9 upper stage that's going to hit the moon in a week? That would be the upper stage from the what is it? The MEV mission. I believe. Give me 1 sec. What was the name of that? MLV or something? MRV1. Yeah. Honestly, it's no big deal. Oh, it was Blue Ghost. Oh, wow. That stage has been up there for a while. Yeah, that's been up there for a minute. So, yeah, SB1, it's left over from the Blue Ghost mission. Thank you, Chad. Sorry, I forgot. I could have sworn it was the MRV1, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll just chalk that up to me being an idiot, and we'll leave it at that. Where's the lie? So, honestly, SB1 stuff hits the moon all the time. It's really not that big of a deal. Like, it's not like we have to worry about hitting someone. Or do we? No, it's gonna impact the moon. Might send a little bit of debris up into space, but it'll all come back down. Not a lot of people know that the moon is a decaying. Give me 1 second. I got a message. Might be important. Yeah, SB1 stuff hits the moon all the time. The moon because it has non-uniform gravitational pull, because a lot of mass is concentrated on one side, it'll pull stuff in. There's decaying orbits on the moon. It'll eventually come down. Give me 1 second. I'm talking to Bree. Sorry, guys. Urgent. Primo okay? Yeah, actually everything's okay. Okay. Yeah. Early hours tomorrow is gonna be short. We're gonna do a split stream tomorrow. A split stream, meaning that we have Not saying she reminded me that we have a thing to do from 3 to 5 tomorrow, but yeah, so tomorrow's early hours is going to be a little bit shorter. So, yeah, got to be out of here by 3 p.m., but I'll be back for space news. With that being said, we should continue with the space news. Now, that company that Space and Technology was posting was Pulsar. That's Pulsar Fusion, but we haven't really seen... Oh. Neat. Yeah, I haven't really seen much from them in a long time, actually. We'll see. It's British? Yeah, I think so. Hey, Union Jack. No, no, no. They did a Bloomberg interview. Nice camera. That warehouse seems awfully empty for somebody that's going to do a demo flight in 2027. That's all I'm saying. They posted their engine test a few months ago. Did they now? These? That's pretty cool. Ion thrusters. Nice. You'd say a clean shop is a good sign. No, drummer, you're getting confused. I didn't say a clean shop. I said an empty shop. Nothing wrong with a clean shop, but you have to have stuff in it for it to be clean. Not just a side-by-side and some mock-ups over here. And then maybe a CNC machine that doesn't look like it's plugged into anything. Forklift, though. Touche. I mean, there's a side-by-side and some ambient lighting. And more ambient lighting over there. And then a telehandler, and then a robotic arm that's not plugged into anything. And then an engine crane. Probably tuck things away for the interview. Brother, stop coping. No, but minimal amounts of work gets done in that workspace. Come on. Come on, man. I know what a shop looks like. Recent private fusion companies are looking very promising, but Pulsar doesn't even disclose which reactor design they're using. I love the random lights. They're for ambience. Ambience. That is them not having anything to do. Yep. All right. Well, I posted the other day in Space News that there's that NASA built a new wind tunnel at Langley Research Center. So there's a video to accompany it now. Let's see what that's about. Whoa. Dude, it's a little mini capsule. Oh, look at all the wind tunnel test articles. Oh, sick. Sick. That's super cool. It looks like this has a robotic arm in it to demonstrate flat spins. Dude, that's an Orion wind tunnel testing article. That's cool. And that's a piece of wood. Cool. XB70 wind tunnel test article. F4. A4 up there. Not sure what that is. Gemini capsule, Mercury capsule, Apollo capsule. F107, TA4. Look at all of NASA's old wind tunnel test articles. That's super cool. Look at all these planes that we never made, like that one. The X-48. That would have been nice. Am I right? Yeah, I saw the E3 down there. Yeah. I think it was at E2, but it's okay. How fast did the minivan end up going? Oh, Maddie, we got that thing going. I did its top speed. It does about almost 140, which is pretty quick considering what it is. Look like a B1? Yeah, maybe. Why are you using a green screen? I'm not. I'm in mission control. Don't you know? Do you not see all the monitors working in that nice phone over there? Java, I'm gonna lie to you. I really don't have any. I really don't know how to answer this question other than I want one. Pick up the phone. No. I like using a green screen because it's less. I don't want it to necessarily be about me, more about what you're seeing on the screen. And if I didn't have a green screen, this much real estate would be taken up from a wall that's behind me, and I don't want that. Like, what was your lap time in the end? I did 1:59.5, Myers, with the minivan. We got sub 2 minutes, dude, which is pretty cool. You should, Bob. Wolf Caller, thank you to whoever gifted memberships about 25 minutes ago. That was Snarfer. Snarfer's good people. We like Snarfer. So yeah, Langley has the new FDRF, which is pretty cool. Langley does a lot of flight dynamics testing anyway, so... Go back to the Get Some picture. Did you see the size of the earth clamp? Oh, that's well off the screen, dude. Yeah. What kind of trucks are parked out front? Dodge Ram. It looks like a Ford Expedition. And that looks like a, I don't know, maybe a Silverado?
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
What's that big crane in the background? It's not a crane, actually. I thought you were going to change one of your backdrops to the IFT-13 separation. Yeah. Yeah. Man, I've done like every stream this week. It's been like a 13-hour stream. Like, what do you want from me? Give me some time. I'll change it. It just might not be soon. Okay. Ramwell did gifted a sub to green screen. Okay. That thing in the back is a gigantic test bed to simulate impacts, low speed impacts on the ground here.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Here, I'll show you. So, here, watch. It's like the thing that they used for Orion. Yes.
These elbows don't get locked, so if you need to pull them up, to rotate them, pull them up, turn them 90, and then you can...
All right, let's get to the good part. That poor MD-90. Yeah, that's what that test stand is for. Like I said, Langley does a lot of flight dynamics testing. Like crashing planes. Let's see it again. Oh, my spine hurts just from watching this. Ah, a Canadian registration. Well, that's why it crashed.
This bolt sheared completely off. This part of the wing just sheared off.
Yeah, that's what happens when planes crash. Just saying.
Do these pull out?
It's a Fokker. It looked like an MD-90, but yeah, it's not that anymore, Joe.
Oh. Some of them, I see.
So they painted all these dots here to catch on camera where the plane deforms when it hits the ground. The wings, so that guy was talking about bolts shearing off. The wings are designed to do that. These bolts are frangible. They will break if you hit the ground too much to disperse the energy so it doesn't kill everyone on board.
What's that?
That's more or less what's supposed to happen. My luggage. Well, your luggage would have been fine. Canadian, did it apologize to the ground for hitting it so hard? Yes. Oh yeah, bud. That looks like something we've seen before. A lot of sheared aluminum. It's fine. It's fine. Your spine would have not been happy.
Hey Matt, we still have 3 bars on. This recording. Once. This one.
It did
It looks like a shredded Cybertruck? How do you know what that looks like?
really well. All the seats are, still attached. A little bit of
Ryan, did you hear that? The seats are still attached.
disruption back here in the wing box, but the rest of it looks like it's a relatively, I call, a survivable crash. Severe but survivable, which is what our intent was.
See, the seats are still attached. Oh. Oh, that's very broken. Oh. Well then. That's it looks like the wing box went up into the cabin a little bit there. The seats are still attached, bro. me when I'm flying on, I was going to say Spirit Air, but never mind. Hey, he just wanted to be with his buddy. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that, that's the kind of stuff that Langley does, NASA Langley. They've done it with all different types of planes too, which is actually kind of cool if you want to see. Oh no, not the Cessna. Oh, that thing's kind of junk. Never mind. You actually have an uncle that worked at Langley in the wind tunnels during the Cold War. Don't know what he did. Can't remember. I'd have to ask my dad. He was an aerospace engineer, though. Right on. That's why they say brace the way they do. Can't smash your head into the seat in front of you if it's already contacting it. Yeah. Snarver, fun fact, I would drive by that structure every day when I worked at Langley. It's where I started my software engineering career working on SGI workstations used for flight modeling. Well, look at you. That's really cool, man. Hell yeah. Sorry, you know, we'll get back to space news. I want to see this. I want to see this Cessna bite the bullet. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's fine. Is it? Is it fine? Dude! Dude, the net screwed it up more than the drop did. Oh, that's not great. That's not good for it. Yeah, the gear freaking took it, dude. Look at that. The net screwed up the plane more than watch the wing. Watch right here. The net screwed it up more than the net screwed it up more than the freaking drop did. It's a Navy. Yeah, okay, if we need to land a Cessna on an aircraft carrier, we can get away with it. I think the front gear might be broken, though, dudes. I think the front gear is struggling. Yeah, the front gear has seen better days. The back gear, though, that's fine. Why does the plane look like it's shot up? Survivor's bias, dude. No, that's for their cameras, their high-speed imaging cameras. If you like in the video, right, you can measure the distance between the dots and you can see where the fuselage deformed. Oh god. Not bad. Oh, these guys are about to have a really bad day. These guys are about to have a really bad day. Oh! Dude, the co-pilot ate the freaking yoke. Damn! It actually, the landing didn't look too bad. Oh, yeah, that hurts. That'd hurt. Oh, spinal compression. Right there. Oh, God. My back hurts just thinking about this. Dash face. Just... You gotta play like the Ed, and Eddie thing, like where it makes some funny sound effect before somebody's about to get hit in the face. You know. Ah, my back. Yeah, it had a tail strike. Yep. Yeah. Seatbelts. Where's seatbelts? Also, that poor Cessna. The cope. See, that's why when the boom boom, ladies and gentlemen, now fasten seatbelt sign is now turned on. You know, you should listen. Nothing wrong with a little bit of spinal compression. It's fine. They did use that test stand to test Orion, a land impact, yes. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. I want to see them do that with an SR-22. They have honeycomb crush cores in the seats. Don't they also have the doctor chutes in them, Dan? An SR-22? We had special shock absorbing seats in our helicopters for the pilots. We crew in the back had nothing. To be fair, training a pilot is very expensive. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Yeah, that's what I thought. Ah! Where's the lie? Boom, there is none. Okay. All right, so we got Stoke out. Langley's done. All right, next bit of news here is from Firefly. Firefly, talk about being in the right place at the right time. These stunning shots were captured during one of our Miranda engine hot fire tests at our Rocket Ranch facility. Each Eclipse first stage will be powered by 7 Miranda engines, individually delivering 230,000 pounds of thrust to propel our rockets to orbit. All right. This Cessna probably didn't crash, though. Wait a minute, what the hell am I looking at there? I don't know what that is. Is that a caster wheel? Hey, 12. Why would you need a caster wheel on a plane with an overhead wing? Am I missing something? Yeah, Bob, I mean, it makes sense. But, yeah, no. Just messing around. For the Starship News queue. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I will tee that one up when chat finishes telling me what the hell that thing is. Could be a tie down. Okay. Camera? Acoustic testing? Nice. Turns a wing strike into less of a wing strike? Yeah, maybe. It's an airspeed indicator for how fast the rushing air is spinning the wheel. Tie down that flexes. Interesting. Interesting. Isn't that what the pedo is for? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what this is. I'm not convinced by any... It's a thing. Suzuki? What time? Oh. It looks like a microphone for testing audio of launch zones. Could be. It's a Plumbus. All right, cool. We know what it is. Excellent. So, speaking of airplanes and airplane news while we're on the subject here, Boom Aerospace, or Boom Supersonic has been posting some really, really nice pictures of all of their, of basically their integrated turbine assembly, spinning assembly for their jet. Check this out. Wowzers. That's nice. That is quite nice. Ball busting accepted, if funny, always. Yeah, all good, all good. Oh, okay, Aqualix, so that's good. It's a thingamabob they're using the whatchamacallit. Oh, There you go. So this is the Sprint Core? This is that, but that's the blueprint. Pretty cool. Where's the... Okay, let's just go up to the good stuff. Good stuff's up here. So check this out. They're working on the casings for the engines now, too. Look at that. That's really nice, actually. Data center power turbine. Well, that's what Boom is trying to do initially, and then they'll use these motors for it's the Symphony engine. Yeah, that's really good. Oh, speaking of this, is anybody here familiar with APR Energy? They're out of Jacksonville. Anybody familiar with that? No. APR Energy is a mobile gas and diesel turbine, gas turbine fleet operator. So they operate gas turbine, like mobile gas turbine power plants. Elon bought APR Energy for $1 billion. This was a couple of weeks ago, but still, I don't know. Probably want to know. I have it teed up and ready to go, Conan. Don't worry. There was no press release. The acquisition surfaced through a Federal Trade Commission early termination notice. Transaction number 202-61350, dated May 14, 2026, which cleared the deal without further antitrust review. The implied value clears $1 billion, backed up from disclosures showing a minority stakeholder received roughly $50.4 million for a 5% stake. Fortress Investment Group had picked up APR's assets in late 2024 and rebranded the business as New APR Energy LLC before flipping it. APR doesn't run a traditional power plant. It deploys trailer-mounted gas turbines and reciprocating diesel and natural gas engines that can reach full power in under 10 minutes. Oh, under 10 minutes. Wow. And be installed in days rather than years. Rather than the years it takes to permit and build a fixed plant. The fuel is natural gas and diesel. This is fossil fuel combustion packaged to move. I do believe in a flame trench last week, Ryan was talking about power generation needs. I forgot to bring this up. Interesting. Bran, what's up, dude? Just got an email that Jared Isaacman will be having the following event in Idaho Falls, Idaho. NASA Inspiration Event, going nuclear with the INL. Friday, August 7, 2026. Join Idaho National Laboratory and NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman for an afternoon celebrating the connection between America's golden era of nuclear energy and its next era of space exploration. The event will include a patriotic flyover by NASA aircraft. Sweet. Anytime I could see the NASA F-15 fly around. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I don't know if you guys have seen NASA's new livery for their F-15 and their F-18, but they're as the kids say, they go quite hard. It might be supplementary power generation, Ari, yeah, but I don't know for sure. Oh. That's really cool. Why not an RTG? Power is instantaneous. RTGs don't generate nearly as much power as a diesel generator, Alex. An RTG would be able to power probably a phone for an extremely long period of time. But yeah, RTGs don't generate much power. They use the natural decay heat. All right. They use the natural decay heat from nuclear materials connected to a thermocouple to generate electrical power. And the natural decay doesn't generate a lot. It just generates a little for a very long time. Is that right? Is it good? Yeah? I know, Sam. Isn't it cool? Also F-15s. So yeah, I mean, dude, whereas like a diesel power generator that has a Cummins diesel engine in it, or like a Cat 3406, dude, a Cat 3406 feeding a generator, you could power like a village for a little while, like a whole village. Probably like, I don't know. Really depends on like, if the 3406 is a generator motor. I mean, you could power probably a couple houses not a whole village. Probably less than that, but still, it generates a lot of power. But yeah, like you'd have to couple them, like you'd need a lot of them. If you had like 5 or 6 of them, you could probably power a small town. Data centers, yo. Well, it's very interesting that Elon would buy a power company that's designed for supplementary data center production when he wants to do the whole data center in space. I think that it might be for scalable power. That's quick, scalable energy. Scalable energy is not as easy as you might think, right? Because you have to build out a power plant. Canada took a GP40 on the road to power a town for a few days. I still think that is a good idea, right? I went to Brimo and I asked Brimo to because chat was like, you want a model railroad? You want to put a model railroad in your backyard? No, I don't. I want to put a real railroad in my backyard, okay? Now, is my yard big enough to facilitate any useful amount of track? No, we'd probably have about 100 feet. However, if we had like an EMD switcher locomotive, right? Or like an Alco RSD or something. Maybe not an Alco RSD. The wire harness was kind of caca. Like a GP38, right? Or an old switcher. Heck, even a trackmobile. Whatever. I could commute to work in a train. And if the power goes out, I could power my entire neighborhood and it's not really a big deal. Right? I tried, and Brimo didn't want to. I think it's a great idea. In fact, I think even off the grid, even if you went off the grid, if I shut off the power to the grid and just tied the diesel locomotive into my house in the shop, it might even be cheaper. Because it's not a lot of power. The house and the shop combined together with everything on is probably maybe 20 kilowatts. Maybe on a good day. Like not on a good day. Like if the AC is cranking everywhere, it's not that much of a draw. 20,000 kilowatt hours or something. It's not a big deal. That's not a lot of power. A diesel locomotive could easily power my house for months. It would take a lot of money to fill up the tank with diesel, but also, how many people get to say they have a functioning locomotive in their backyard that they can commute to work with? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It's a good idea. Like, yeah, an EMD one. What did you guys say? SW 1500. That's what I'm talking about. You know, you don't need anything crazy. You just need a switcher. See? Just one of these bad boys. See that? One of those bad boys and 100 feet of track is all I need. That's a Metra switcher. Look at that thing. Make the train horn go off when a sub gets gifted. My neighbors would kill me. Kill me. All right, what kind of motor does this have in it? 187 kilonewtons of tractive effort, 1,500 horse. It's got an EMD 645 in it. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, that's nice. What do we got there? V12? Hmm. 12645E. Rated RPM 900, 1,500 horsepower, 1.1 megawatts. It generates a megawatt of power? Yeah, dude, frick my house. Like, this could power, like, my entire city. This could power the entire block. Like, probably 20 to 30 houses, easily. How loud would it be? As long as you're not revving it up, dude. I'd only rev it up to commute to work. You know what I mean? How did they fit so many horses in this thing? Well, they, you know, when you compact horses, you can fit a lot of horses in a small package. You gotta compact them into the motor. I mean, dude, you could backfeed into the grid, provided the utility company knew about it. You could backfeed into the grid, and then your utility bill would be nothing. You could offset. Yeah, if you generate power and feed it into the grid, in some cases, it depends on your electricity provider. They'll pay you. I mean, 1.1 megawatts, dude. That's pretty cool. Love to see how you backfeed all that through one residential meter. You think it'd go past the 200 amp wires? Nah, you could do a little bit of electrical wizardry and make that work. I mean, you'd need a couple of. I was about to say you need a couple DC to DC converters, you know. What's the fuel consumption? I don't know. See, this is the time where I'll admit that AI search engine queries are a good idea. What is the fuel consumption of a 12645E diesel engine? Fuel consumption of an EMD 12645E diesel engine varies by load, ranging from about 3 to 4 gallons per hour at idle. Oh. Maybe some cylinder deactivation? That's not great. That's not great. That's not. You know. Maybe use it as a backup generator. All right. Maybe we use it as a backup generator. Okay. Wait a minute. You know what I always thought would make a good generator engine? Hold on. What is the fuel consumption of a 4BT Cummins diesel? A 3.9 liter 4BT Cummins diesel engine typically consumes about 17 to 28 miles per gallon in automotive swaps, or 2 to 7.6 gallons per hour under industrial or marine load. Now we're talking. How many kilowatts does a 4BT Cummins diesel engine make? Standard factory 4BT produces between 78 kilowatt and 112 kilowatts. The 737 APU does 250 pounds an hour. I mean, what's the power output, Ryan? A 737 APU with its inverter is putting out 24 volts, right? That wouldn't work. You'd need a DC to DC converter again. Because you'd need this, or well, actually, you'd need a transformer to step up 24 to 100 or to 240, or else it's not going to work. I mean, that's not undoable, right? Like, funny thing is, your AC needs the most power when the sun is mostly overhead. Realistically, you don't need solar to work all the time to trim your power bill. I live in the freaking woods, dude. But yes, I know what you're saying. There's too many freaking trees. Sorry to burst your bubble. Nah, it's all right. Get an SD70 Mac that puts out 3 megawatts. Yeah, that'd power my whole town. It goes to 120 volt AC. Use it to start the EJEC, the Eric Johnson Electric Company. Yep. I did the math. At 12 volts of power, 1,666 repeating amps of power. Yikes. Yeah, I don't think my 200 amp wires would take 1,600 amps. I'm pretty sure that would light them on fire. I mean, I'm not the best electrical engineer around. EMU30E, 60 kilowatt, and basically a CH47 APU. Yeah, but the thing is, guys, is that 4BT Cummins are everywhere. These are the engines that are in, like, delivery trucks, like FedEx and UPS trucks. You know what I mean? I could probably find one for pretty short money, and we could probably... We'd need a... Yeah, you'd need a generator, and we need the generator to convert it to 240 volts at 60. And if I didn't want to fry something, we'd need a sine wave inverter attached to that too. Am I electrical engineering correctly? I don't want to fry stuff in my house. .1 megawatt hours is worth a lot more than 3 to 4 gallons of diesel. Yeah, well, like I said, if the power company if we could backfeed, the power company would be very happy. They'd be like, "Whoa, that's really nice. Thank you for that, sir." Honeywell 131-9A model APU can do 90 kilowatts up to 35,000 feet. If you got natural gas plumbed into your house, convert the 4BT to use it. I do. Frick Generac, dude. Frick Generac. We don't need that. We don't need no frickin' Generac, dude. We don't need no frickin' Generac. We'll just make one. I want to do that. I want to do cool stuff like that. I just got to get this car out of here. We got to finish it. You need a G-Tel. You'll get no argument from me. Anyway. Train tangent. About power generation. Check this out. This article's coming from Space News. SpaceX wins a $1.6 billion launch order for military satellite networks. Space Force awarded SpaceX 2 task orders worth $1.6 billion to deploy military satellite constellations, marking the largest publicly announced batch of missions yet under NSSL Phase 3 program, the non-paywall version. That's actually a big deal, dude. That's no joke. That's probably one of SpaceX's most lucrative contracts that they've gotten. Trickle charge and off-grid setup to your limited shop power. You could get 3-phase and mostly use cheap overnight power to do it. Now, see, Aqualex, that's a solution I'd get behind. Solar power with a power wall to get 3-phase out here. You know, it's not like I'm running a machine shop 24/7, right? Like, that's a good idea. I like that idea. 18 launches in 18 months out of Vandy. 18 launches in 12 months, dude? You might also be able to find an old Kohler genset. We have several at work. 25 kilowatt Ford V8 converted to natural gas. Cool. Actually, dudes, I don't... Oh, man! over the stupor that I've had over the last couple of months, dude. I forgot to tell you guys. My neighbor Charlie, you've seen him on stream before. Charlie, if you're watching, what's up, dude? He saw a guy that was getting rid of a bunch of stuff, putting a bunch of stuff at the side of the road, right? And he stopped because the dump provides, right? He's putting it at the side of the road to throw it away. And he stopped, and the guy was pulling a generator out of his garage. A Generac 7550. And the guy was like, yeah, I bought another one. This one doesn't work. It's blowing blue smoke. And he pulled it out of the garage, and it was sideways. I don't know if I told you guys about this. It was sitting sideways. He had it stored sideways in his garage. And guess what? All the oil from the crankcase leaked into the exhaust. So when he started it blowed blue smoke, and it looked like it blew a head gasket. Me and my neighbor, right? We changed the oil, cleaned out the fuel system, primed the whole thing, started right up. And he's like, well, you fixed it. You want it? I'm like, yep, I do. So I have a Generac 7550. Nothing. It's sitting outside the shop. I gotta show you guys. Yeah. I thought it was broken. I collected the stupid dude. A 7550 is no joke. That's a really nice generator, dude. It's got push button start. It's no GFCI outlet. So you can power your house, right? Like, when was that? Oh, a month ago, maybe? Cheapest way to get three-phase power is to get a three-phase motor and wire it up to turn it into a rotary phase converter. We could do all that. We could get away with that. I'm smart enough to get that done, Deadeye. Did you at least give a neighbor a six-pack from the finder's fee? You bet your ass I did. I mean, but... Lev, I did tell you that? Yeah. Generac 7550, man. So between that and the Amico, the yellow one that you guys saw me fix, dude, we're producing... What is it? 14,000 watts? 14 kilowatts? The power goes out. My lights ain't gonna turn off. That's all I'm saying. So what are you gonna do with the yellow one? Daisy chain them together and generate more power, because generating electricity is cool. Anyway, back to the Space Force thing. Ewok 62-month resub. And then Ryan had a tier 2 25-monther in there. That was 38 minutes ago, but whatever. No, don't do the thing that you find cool. Do the thing that I find cool. You know what I find cool? Reading this article. Well, you need a tank to store the go-go juice. Yeah, it's called a bucket. I have plenty of fuel jugs, don't worry. SpaceX is the only winner so far of a Phase 3 Lane 1 contract. All launches will lift off from Vandenberg Space Force Base and are expected to be completed by the end of 2027. Sensing and targeting of airborne objects from space and providing near real-time communications across the joint force are vital to the defense of the nation. The rapid acquisition capabilities provided by our NSSL Phase 3 dual-lane approach allows us the flexibility to deliver satellites to our warfighters at an increasingly efficient manner. Can't do that without a proper synchronization gear. Synchronization gear? Electricity. You sync the electricity, dude. We have set an unprecedented 2-month acquisition timeline under Phase 3 Lane 1 contract from requirement identification to award. This includes a 1-month period for the launch service provider's proposal preparation. Ultimately, this timeline results in the speed our warfighter demands even more than before. Damn, dude. Have you seen what it takes to synchronize generators without blowing them up? No. But it is clearly a well-known thing, and if I decide to do it, I don't think it's going to be an issue, period, full stop, statement, end of conversation. Boom. How about that? How about that? Whammy. I just finished the conversation, so you don't have to type anymore. Yeah, Taryn, that's right. Zucha, 23-month resub. Thank you. Late to the party today? Nah, that's good. So, here. Let me explain this. Real quick. House. EJ's house is here. EJ's shop is over here. Okay, see? Shop, house. All right? There's a sub box in the shop. Okay? Following me? That goes to the main box in the house. Main box goes out. One generator for the house. One generator for the shop. You shut off the mains in the shop that go to the house. See? See what I'm talking about? Then you can power both buildings. Boom. Without the boom. Hi, house and shop. Oh, hi, Black. How are you? See? It said the shop spoke to you. Hey, Gravit, what's going on? Longtime lurker, love the stream. Do you think competition with SpaceX is good for humanity? Who is the most viable competitor in your opinion? In terms of capital allocation, Gravit, I'd probably... Hi, by the way. I'd probably say Blue. Blue or Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab, not necessarily for capital allocation, but you could go by launches. You could go by how many launches. Electron is the only one that's even close to matching SpaceX's launches, and they're not close. Spoiler alert. But Blue has a lot of money invested in the spaceflight industry and could potentially be competitive to SpaceX in the future. I personally think that it would probably be a better idea to have NASA do their own thing as well and have a public space program, a national space program, something like the Apollo program, to kind of hedge against monopolies in space, because it inevitably can and will happen. Either that or if the government wants to step in, but I don't think it's going to take a long time before that happens. But yeah, some people aren't ready for that conversation. I said that on Flame Trench like probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I pissed off a bunch of people in chat. It was like 1 or 2 guys, but still. Didn't Rocket Lab buy Iridium? That automatically make them SpaceX's biggest competitor. Iridium already have Spectrum and satellites in orbit. If you want to use that metric, Hazer, yeah, sure. Great, thanks for the response. And it's gravitate. Yeah, it's the 8. Yeah, okay. I guess I need to work on the name. No, you don't. No, gravitate. You're fine. I'm just me. You know what I mean? When I was in high school, gravitate, I had, signed my yearbook. It's senior year of high school. I had to sign my yearbook. I didn't get that many people to sign my yearbook because I was kind of a tool. Still kind of am. Right? So, I did get one dude that I thought was really cool. He's a good buddy of mine. Good-ish buddy of mine. I mean, they're, somewhere between acquaintance and friend, like acquaintance and best friend. I got him to sign my yearbook. I was so happy about it. Right? Because I was like, oh my gosh, I did a social activity. Where is the Counter-Strike game? I am gone. Right? You know what he wrote? He wrote, EJ's so smart, he put the B in it. Take that story for what it's worth. So, yeah, gravitate, don't worry about it. It's very much me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And then I went back to doing Counter-Strike things. Anyway. Starlink time? Or Starship time? Star pipe time? Let's go. Here, check this out. Elon posted this last night. Updated flyover of Ship 40 out in the ocean. This was posted late last night, even after Battlefield. So this was like at 2 or 3 in the morning. Oh yeah, boat ship. That's right. That's right. You're right. You're a tool. What kind? Makita, DeWalt, Harbor, Tang. Tang. So Ship 40 is still out there, but I've noticed that it is listing to one direction because it's a boat ship. It's listing to one direction. I would say that's listing to starboard because that's the starboard side of the ship because the ship's upside down. It's capsized, technically, if we're using nautical terms. Right? Starboard is still starboard, even if the ship's upside down. Right? It's listing to one side, and it very much looks like the nose is taking on a little bit more water. It's definitely, the water line is definitely lower up here, but it's not much. That's the thing. It's not much lower. It's crap sized. No, it's starship sized, dude. But yeah, if you look at this side, that list, yeah, that's not, that flap's basically fully submerged. Do you think it already has a salt crust? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any water in the fuel tanks unless the vent lines are open, like what Ryan was saying yesterday. If you didn't watch yesterday's Space News, that was a fun time. That was good. We need to get her schooner rather than later, or we'll have to go back to B and recapture her. Oh, God. Where were the flames coming from when it hit? So, Yum Food, that was the vent lines from the header tanks. They vented down oxygen and methane. The vent lines for them are up there, and it flashed against something, and it caught on fire. But yeah, that was the header tanks venting down. Oh, thank you, Creeper. Yeah, we'll show that. We'll show that with the story. Are the flaps filling with water? I don't think it's the flaps, Cameron. I mean, the flaps are filling with a little bit of water for sure. But water can, they're not.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Oh, he gifted us up to Creeper. Thanks, man. The interior structure of the flaps is not pressurized, so any water that goes in is just going to drain out. Now, here's what's going on. It's the payload bay. The payload bay might be taking on water, so this little part up at the front, over here. I say little, it's gigantic. So from about here to about here is payload volume, right? The methane tank is right here, and the oxygen tank is from there to there. Those are sealed. You can tell that those are fully air, watertight, whatever. They're sealed. They're designed to keep the fuel in. Now, there's no fuel left in them. There's probably some gaseous methane and gaseous oxygen in there for sure. But yeah, they're, for the most part, they're vented down. None of this is at flight pressure. But the tanks are still airtight. And that's why the back of the ship seems to be like coming up out of the water, because you have air right here, you have air right there. And then you are going to get some buoyancy from the header tanks, because we know for a fact, because our buddies at SpaceX told us that the header tanks are fine, and the transfer to the lines for the header tanks are fine as well. There are fuel lines, fuel and oxidizer lines that go down here, down to the bottom of the engines. They use the fuel tanks up in the nose for the flip and burn and landing, right? Which is going to bring me to the next thing. But we theorized also, viewers in chat theorized, that if water is leaking in, it's leaking in through the payload bay slit, deployed the Starlink satellites? And if it is, and the rest of this is more or less intact, that's the only way in or out. That's the only non-watertight thing in the payload bay. So the payload bay might be slightly taking in a little bit of water. But if the rest of this, if all the vent lines and everything are shut, right, it's only going to allow to leak in a little bit of water. Because what eventually is going to happen is that the air inside of that is going to pressurize. It's going to pressurize. The water's going to force the air in, and the water's going to force itself in, and it's going to compress. When it gets to that point, it'll pressurize the nose cone, and it'll float just fine, which is pretty much what I think is going on here. Now, the real issue at this point, right, would be if the ship flips over. That would be bad. We do not want the ship to flip over. If it flips, well, all these tiles are going to get encrusted with salt water, which is bad. I mean, that's not going to be great for the analysis, but like for the science points, to speak Kerbal terms. But if it does flip over, right, there is water in the payload bay, and that water is going to stay in there, and then the payload bay will no longer be pressurized, and it will go nose down. And as the thing is splashing around and more water splashes into the payload bay through the payload bay slit, over time it'll eventually sink. I'm pretty damn sure about this. But for right now, as long as the thing is perfectly right side up, or perfectly upside down, I should say, it'll be okay. But it is listing a little bit. Not bad considering it's been out there for almost a week. This Starship landed on Friday, guys. It's almost been out there for 7 days. Can you believe that? Did they close the tank vents? All the vents are closed, John, because when they landed, all the avionics on board safed the vehicle. We still had a connection after it was floating in the water. We saw it at the end of the SpaceX cast, right? Yeah, dude, she's fine. I'm not worried about the tanks. So if the payload bay ended up filling up with water, it'll most likely rip itself off before the tanks go under. Before the tanks sink down because of buoyancy, right? The tanks are sealed, man. We're good to go. So Elon did say during Space News yesterday that they are going to go try to get it. Vinning is following Elon. That's kind of cool. Are these images recent? Elon posted them last night, TFT. Yeah, these are pictures. If I'm going to guess, they're pictures that were taken within the last 24 hours. Yeah, dude. She's still good, man. I'm like, frankly, impressed. I'm very impressed that this thing is, like how well it's taking a beating. It really bodes well for Starship, like braving the elements, man. Because you got to think, guys, it's not just about Starship. It's not just about Starship floating and them getting him back now. This thing spent an extended duration of time actually being like partially submerged in salt water, and then having salty air like spray up against it, right? Dude, this would speak volumes for what happens to a Starship if you leave it out for a little while. This data could be invaluable for future concept of operations where SpaceX is teeing up Starships to go do a refueling run on an HLS and go somewhere. You know good and well that you can leave this thing out. Dude, like, let's just say in a hypothetical, they take this thing back, right? They get it back to Starbase, and they plug the damn thing in, and they power on all the systems, which I would not do without a thorough inspection. It'll probably catch on fire. But let's say they do that, right? And it works. Let's say they do it, and it actually works. Holy crap, dude. That really speaks to the robustness of the systems, don't you think? Once again, that's what I mean about this thing being invaluable. I said yesterday that thing's worth its weight in gold in terms of scientific understanding. Right? And now, on top of all that, on top of it being an orbital starship, on top of being able to physically put hands on the tiles and physically put hands on the first Raptors that basically came to space, went to space and came back in one piece, right? Or, well, near orbital velocity, let's say, right? Those are the first Vectors that have come back in one piece. Those sea level engines almost went to orbit. Like, this thing is worth so much in scientific understanding. That's what they mean when they say, "Oh, we're going to get so much data from this thing." Bodojo, couldn't they attach external floats to keep it from sinking? I'm going to guess that they'll probably do that, but they have to have external floats. Right now, it's about 1,000 Ks from the coast of... Actually, it's more than 1,000 Ks from the coast of Australia, but... Dip it in WD-40, good to go. It worked for Atlas. Frost on the tanks. That's not frost on the tanks, dudes. I don't know what all this white stuff is. It could be corrosion on the stainless. I'm not sure if you saw this, but the ship prototype in Mega Bay 2 has been labeled as Ship 43.1 qualification. All right. Crazy idea. Could this validate the possibility of landing in the ocean as an abort option? I mean, yeah. Probably. Can we call it boat ship now? Yes. But yeah, man. And the Starlink account posted this. Check this out. We got new footage of landing here as well. Take a peek. This might get a little bit loud. I'm turning it up. Post the link. Oh, you want the link to this? All right, there you go. I'll post it in both chats too. All right, headphone users. 5 seconds. It might not be loud, I'm just saying. It's loud. Pretty soft splashdown, dude. Note the 2 drones. We saw the footage from those drones over there. Dude, did you hear the muffled shutdown of the Raptor engines? It's because they dipped into the water. Listen. Ugh! No COPV torpedo is a bit disappointing. Yeah. Okay. Relative to this, where would the catch be? The catch tower would be right here, and the chopsticks would be pointing about this way. Catch tower's more or less right here. And then ship would be caught there. So it's much easier to show it. Pull up Space Coast Live. Okay, give me a second. It would be better if we just went to SpaceX's account and saw the footage from the drones. The landing footage from the drones. This one right here. So in this frame of reference, the tower is kind of where I am. And the chopsticks are pointed that way. So this thing is going to basically fly in right next to the tower, right? Slew into position and then come back and get caught. The catch would be right there. See where? Okay. Real quick, I'll mute the sound. you see how it's kind of sideways right here? When it straightens out, right, it'll straighten out right before they shut the engines off. That's when the sticks would move into place. This is real footage, Hen. Yeah, absolutely. This is footage from Flight 13. This was last Friday. We watched it live. So the tower, right now, the tower would be right here, right? The top of the tower would probably be right here, and the sticks would be moving into position. They'd be swinging in, and right there, where it goes perfectly straight up and down, is where the sticks would come in. The one that slipped through the sticks. I really, Mustard, I don't have the answer to that question. What I'm going to say is that I really hope SpaceX has thought about that, and I'm pretty sure they have. But, you know, I would like to think that, you know, that they've thought about this. But something that's very interesting, dudes, is see how the ship kind of, when it does the flip, like if the tower is my finger, right, and the sticks are pointed this way, right? So this arm is the tower. Starship kind of goes around it and then comes in. So like the tower would be right here. It'd be over here, right? See how it kind of, when it does the flip, it kind of loops around and comes into position? That's very interesting. It doesn't seem like they're going to overfly the tower. It seems like it's going to go just a little ways around it. Right? Does the flip and then comes back into position and then straightens out at the last second. Ryan says go to Space Coast Live. Okay. Space Coast Live. Yep, no, hey, come back. The draw works at 39A are working, guys. Look, the sticks are up high. So, chat, get it in this shot, right? In this shot, Starship would do the flip over here, and it would circle around and then get caught this way. It would go to the left side of the tower in your screen, like on your screen. It'd go to the left. My guess would be so it doesn't want to hit the SQD. Or doesn't want to toast it. So it goes to this side and then kind of maneuvers into position. But yeah, look, the sticks are up at 39. How long have those been like that? Cool. That was very recent. That was only a half hour ago. It would come in over the top of the tower. Well, Ryan, this is what I'm trying to say, man. This footage doesn't look like that, dude. It looks like it slews around the tower just a little bit, right? Like it comes in, does the flip, and then goes around the tower and comes in. Like, just look at the perspective of the drone. Right? See how it's over here? And then it slews sideways just a little bit into position. I don't think SpaceX wants to go directly over the tower, right? But, I mean, you should still clad the tower because it's, you never know. But it kind of looks like they're going to fly, I say fly to the side of the tower. Dude, it's not even flying to the side of the tower. It's just a little bit off. Think like the same amount of distance off that the pad avoidance maneuver would be when Super Heavy takes off, right? Like that. It's not a lot. It's just enough that if the poop hits the fan, it's not going to crash directly into the tower, right? Just a little bit off to the side. Just a smidge. I'm talking about just like a smidge, right? Not like, you know, just a couple smidges away. I thought they altered the landing to make it survive splashdown. This may not be how they land on the chopsticks. Well, what Ryan was saying is that technically with the way this ship is configured right now, with this landing pop, the ground would probably be another 500 feet off the bottom of the ship at this point. Maybe not 500. Let's say 300 feet. So about 100 meters down. Like the top of the tower would be right here. Like they programmed sea level or the ground level for this starship landing to be at the point of catch, which would be up here on the tower. So the water level, so to speak, right? The water level, so to speak, with how that landing was done would be at the SQD. Does that make sense? When the hit fits the shan. That's right. Is that tower facing in the same direction as Boca? The 39A tower? Any information on what kind of ship would recover it? It's either going to be a tow ship or a semi-submersible. So this pad's tower is facing pretty much due east. That pad's tower is pretty much facing due south. That's the one that Flight 12 launched, or Flight 13 and 12 launched off of. I'm pretty sure the one at 39A is that other, so that's the other pad. So it's this, that, and the other pad. The other pad is facing east, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Whoa! Photogrammetry! Oh, when was this updated? Yo! Google Earth. That's cool, man! This wasn't like this the other day. This isn't, now, to be very fair, this isn't a new picture, but the photogrammetry is new. Dude! Oh, that's cool! Dude, the 3D model. Hey, you know what? The photogrammetry did okay, considering this is a hollow structure. Dude, look, it even picked up the 11,000. You could see the boom for the 11,000. That's pretty impressive. Zoom out. Give me a second. Goalie, this is an old picture. I would say... I mean, Ryan, feel free to chime in, too. This was a couple of months ago, at the very least. I'd say April. May, somewhere around there. Oh, yeah, Ordon, that's a good point. Are they only going to build one Starship Tower at KSC? Yes, only one at KSC. The other ones are down here. They're going to build two at the former Delta IV launch complex right here. This is also an extremely old picture. Yeah, this was last year. Easily last year. There's still some of the original Apollo infrastructure sitting over there. That's long gone. Yeah, yeah. I'm getting told that picture's from February. By people. Yes, Ryan, I know, right? Dude, the freaking... That's awesome, dude. I can hear the Ryan videos now. The new Starship Tower is just off to the east of... You don't talk like this, I know, but bear with me. Of the original fixed service structure. It's wrong accent. Whatever, I'll work on it, I swear. But yeah, dude. Look at that. Ryan's just sitting there going, okay, I am leaving now. Hey, Petrie, what's going on? It sounded spot on to you? All right. No, this is actually a really good breakdown for the plumbing. So, oh, do we got some box fan action going here? We got some vaporizers there, fuel tanks, oxidizer tanks. Got some vaporizer action going on over here. They even rendered the Stoke space pad. Holy balls. Holy balls, holy balls, holy balls. We go south. Let's look at 41. 41 has the crew access tower. Oh, that is cool. I'm gonna move south. We'll go down south. There's the VIF-G right there. It's closed in that picture. Let's just head south. We can do it. Let's go over here to pad 40. Dude! That's LZ-40 right there. Falcon 9 landing pad. I could explain the 39A tank farm if you want. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. Do you want to do that? If you want to do that tomorrow, man, we can do that tomorrow. I'm serious. This could be a whole space news in itself. There's Slick 40, Space Launch Complex 40. That's where Falcon 9 launches. Over here is the VIF-A. And you can see the mobile launcher inside of it. Cool. They just put a Vulcan on that thing right there. Vertical integration facility, Amazon. There's the old SMARF payload integration for SpaceX. And there is the ASOC right there. That's where Atlas Mission Control is, for the most part. Where the Titan ITL building is still razzed. Man, that thing would have been nice to have. I can't up until 6 p.m. Central tomorrow since I have work. I can make that happen. We can make that happen. Yeah, it's no problem. There's the causeway. There's the dock. That's the Delta Operations Center. That's LC-34. The Apollo 1 monument is right there. And then here's the Slick 37 complex right here. You just notice SLS is on the pad. Frick you. What is your after-hours game tonight? Does that answer that question? Dude, good spot, Ryan. Other Ryan. Both the Ryans are here. That's sick, dude. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, I'm geeking out. I'm geeking out, man. That's the Artemis 2 rocket, man. That's really cool. NASA put up a couple of shots from Oshkosh. All right. We are Ryan maxing right now. Okay. So Slick 37 we just saw. That's an old picture. We know that this is an old picture. And the sphere is still there. Ryan, did they scrap that thing, right? They rezzed 37. There's nothing left. They got rid of all of it. They just said bulldoze all of this. You might say it's Geek Nation. Yeah? Okay. The Gigabay might be done. Oh, God, I have to go look. I'm sorry, we have to go look. Oh, the VAB is so good, dude. Oh, the Sarens. Dude, the Sarens is there. It's kind of screwed up, but you can see the Sarens CC-8800 and XML2. That's the C-3PF. That's where Starliner does something. Crawler transporters are all there. This is OPF 1 and 2. The X-37B program does something in there. That's OSB 1 right there, Operations Support Building. That's OSB 2. This is SRB processing, SRB nose cone and aft skirt processing. That's what all this is. There's the VAB. Launch Control Center. There's NSF's press site. And just the rest of the press site. Countdown clock's there. Oh, dude, look! The RS-25 cart. These pictures must have been taken... So, dude, I was right. April. Late March. I'd say third week of March. Or fourth week of March. So this would have been like March 28th. The RS-25 is there. Oh my goodness, dude. Fellas, Space News All Tomorrow is going to be looking through all of this. Holy schnitzel. Dude, that's the Roberts Road site. See all those? Those are all stacked. All those sections found their way to 37. Those are all stacked at 37 right now. They've completed the structure for the tower. This is Hangar X. This is the Falcon 9 refurbishment facility. Over here is the tile facility. That's where they make tiles for Starship. Oh boy, Cybertrucks. Oh, look, coping mechanisms. KSCVC. The Visitor Center. Rocket Garden. Delta 2. Titan 2 GLV. Atlas Able. Mercury Atlas. Mercury Redstone. Saturn 1B. Dragon's Nest. All right. I want to see what's going on at Blue here. Oh my God, there's the 2CAT. Tank cleaning and testing, second stage cleaning and testing. So this is topsoil grading going on over here for a facility to do things. So if anybody cares, the dark stuff is the topsoil, is Floridian topsoil. You got to get rid of this. You can't build on that. You build on that, it would be like building on Jello. The reason why is if you notice the topsoil has a lot of white in it. You see the little white flakes in it? Those are limestone chunks. You don't build on limestone. That's like building on a sponge. So if you want to make anything that's big and heavy, like buildings to make rockets, you grade off the topsoil and you put fill down. See this? This is stronger dirt. It doesn't have limestone in it. Limestone chunks are very, very bad. That's all topsoil. They'll scrape it off and then they'll burn all the brush. See this? All the areas that are nice and light, those are all graded. Those are ready to go. You're ready to build. This stuff that has some dark lines in it, not so much. Let's go. This is it, Baron, right? I have not seen this facility before. No. Yeah. Oh, I was close enough. So this Dragon refurbishment facility, guys. Yep. That's where they call it the Dragon's Nest. This is where SpaceX does the refurbishments for the Dragon 2 fleet. Yeah. And they have access to the skid strip. And they got a pool table, too. All right, let's go look at pads. That's complex 46, so 36 would be over here. Hello. Dude. Wow. Yeah. See that thing? That's the thing that they were... Oh my goodness, there was a big chunk of that thing missing. See this? This is where the transporter erector would integrate. Yeah, that part was gone. Okay. Are those berms around the Dragon buildings? They are, Bob. That facility wasn't always used for dragons. And yeah, see the entire launch plate, or the launch deck right here, fell. It fell into the trench. There, they got the minivan to 170 there. Good for them. McGregor. There's an engine going off at McGregor right now. So that's LC-12. Right there. That's Launch Complex 13. SpaceX has this facility, but they will be vacating it. That was a Dragon test stand right there. It hasn't been used in a little while. This is LC-14. That's Stokes pad. The surface structure has since been painted red, but yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. Stokes pad in this picture looks pretty close to done. That's really cool, man. They really did LC-14 some justice, dude. That looks real nice. The amount of money it took to construct all this. Space is a big industry. That's 15. LC-15, I think. There's LC-16. This is Relativity. This is an old picture. Relativity's pad is a lot further down the line, down than this. There's the new pad building here. Yeah, the pad deck isn't even installed in this picture. But there's the diverter, or the trench. Yeah, they're way further along than this. That's the old Terran 1 reaction frame and pad deck. And there's the Terran 1 integration facility there. This is the Terran R integration facility. It's very big. It's not even completed in this picture. Their fuel farms are there, though. Cool. Stokes pad bunker, not white. It's just, yeah, it's just the way that it is. These structures are kind of don't do anything with them because they're made out of asbestos. So whatever condition they're in is the condition that they're in. So cool enough. When I said that they did LC-14 justice, guys, that's where John Glenn launched from. John Glenn launched from that pad. First American into orbit. Right there. Kind of a big deal. 15 is seen better days. 16 is on the up and up. And now there's two more pads here. That's 19, Launch Complex 19 and 20. 19 is not doing great. 20 is owned by Firefly. Firefly has this for whatever launch vehicle. We don't know. Alpha, maybe? They haven't done anything with it. They've mowed the lawn, and that's about it. And then there's LC-34, which you guys have seen. We'll do a more in-depth breakdown here. All the old buildings are gone, except for ONC. ONC and the SSPF are still there. Yeah, we can do a more in-depth breakdown. We'll probably go over a lot of it tomorrow. Where's this located? This is Cape Canaveral, dude. One last thing. Where's Jacqueline? There it is! Yes, my guy. That's pretty big, dude. Oh my goodness. That's super cool. There's so much rendered. Dude. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. All right. And there's a live shot of what I was just looking at on the top right. So, all right. That's going to do it for Space News. That was sick. That was really good. There's a lot of cool stuff out there, man. This upgrade is legit crazy. We went from pre-landing zones to this. Yeah, dude, those pictures from KSC were like from like 2012 or something, man. Where's the info on the Ship 40 recovery? I don't really have much. There was a suspected you know what? We'll go over that Ars article tomorrow. I want to read that. Sec, looking around. The Norman Ranger, I still believe, is going to Ship 40. I didn't do the burger read through. That photo, I planned it for the last part of Space News here. And we could go a little bit further if you want, or we could save it for tomorrow. Go further. Okay. Live event starts soon. The Nancy Roman press conference. Yeah, I'll give you a cliff notes of that sometime. Today, please? Okie dokie. So, I did talk about Ship 40 a little bit, dudes. Why is Beam still... The hell? Why is Beam still there? Hello? Please hold. Uh-oh. It is unhappy. Just... Oh. 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 Okay, note to self, do not Alt F4 out of Beam when you want to end it and hit the end hit the end button and quit, because Alt F4ing makes it very unhappy. Today we learned. Okay. People have said that the Norman Ranger is still fulfilling its contract, but from their recent financial call, they say it's now out of contract and is awaiting its next mission. I remember the last time we watched you, we went to the moon and you said we basically just put 6 people, 4 in a big bus and went around and back. It's kind of a big deal. It is kind of a big deal, dude. You know what else is a big deal? This. And so, Hen, you seen this thing, man? That was Flight 13. Now, little bit of perspective here. That thing is that thing's 15 stories tall. It's about 46 meters, 47 meters, 150 feet tall. It's big. That thing came down in the ocean, and SpaceX is trying to recover it because it's still floating out there. Now, we can go to Space Engineer, Space engineer is a guy that really he's keeping track of all the recovery operations, right? So, as of 4 hours ago, Starship has been afloat for 106 hours and has traveled 310 kilometers since landing. Currently 1,200 from the nearest Australian shoreline. Go Australis, the SpaceX recovery ship, is still following. Now, Space engineer called out this ship. It's called the Normand Ranger. The Normand Ranger is a towing tender. So you see this thing on the back? That's basically a big ship version of a tow hitch. That's what that thing is. So this is a big tow ship. We theorized that this thing might be going out there with the rigging equipment required to tow the ship. Do you think NASA or SpaceX is more important these days? Both of them. Go on the marine traffic and have a look for the Normand Ranger. But we theorized that it's going out to ship 40, but we don't know for sure. Because space engineers said in the next thing, Normand Ranger randomly veered off the lane to a point where a mobile platform existed months ago, but there's now nothing there. TLDR, weird inconsistency, especially for how fast they're going, and they're not headed for the ship, and I'm not sure why they signaled there would be a second additional vessel supporting the recovery operations, but nothing else is outbound, so it's all bullcrap. Anyway, Australia has still got it, though. Here's the link to it. Let's see. Hello? There it is. Where is it? Hmm. "50 miles offshore." I mean, 15 knots is pretty quick. 7.4 meter draft, heading 271. 271 would be this way. No, that way, excuse me. I zigged when I should have zagged. Past track. What? So, for reference, guys, Starship is over here somewhere. Probably heading to a shipping lane. Where's the shipping lane? Look at all those fishing boats out there. Holy crap. The shipping lane's over here. But you'd want this shipping lane to get near Starship. Starship's over here somewhere. In fact, I believe it might drift into this shipping lane right here. So there's highways that the ships go. They're called shipping lanes. The right way to say it'd be a highway. It's like a highway for a car. Like, you can technically go anywhere with a car, but you can clearly see that there's lines of ships going in certain directions, right? How about that shipping lane? That's a big one. There's a reason why that one is really big, though. It's, yeah. People don't want to go. People don't want to traverse the Suez. But yeah, look at the shipping lanes over in the U.S. Look at the shipping lanes in and out of the Gulf. Those are all oil. It's all oil. All those are oil tankers, man. Pretty crazy, right? But yeah, I suppose it'd be good to theorize that the Norman Ranger is going to the shipping lane and it's gonna get on the highway, so to speak, to get up to Starship. Starship is up here somewhere. It's in this area right here. Yeah, and it'd be great. I have a premium marine tracker, and that's the last position. It hasn't moved. Look around because you can see other tugs lightly doing pipeline or survey work. Okay. Interesting. Look up the Go Australias to see where it is. I don't have a premium account, but... Oh. We are a good ways south. I said it was up here. But that's from 8 days ago, guys. It's up here somewhere. But I don't have the premium account, so I can't see all of them. It's recent, Finn. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Does that mean it'd be out here somewhere? These are all fishing vessels. Hey, that happens sometimes, Topical. Yeah, these are, they're all Chinese fishing vessels. We know why they're there. Let's go over to Space Engineer. Where did he say this thing was? No premium is needed. Where's the live button? Do we have a longitude and latitude that I could plug into Google Earth here or something? Go Australia is just straight west of all those fishing vessels. Over here? It's got to be these guys, right? Top right of the map. You have enterprise plan from being a feeder. It's at... Oh, thanks. Asmith, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We can plug that into the goggles. View on live map button. View on live map button. Brother, this isn't as easy as it seems when you have a bunch of people watching you, okay? Just because you see the button doesn't mean I can, and it's not like you can point at it either. Okay, she's up there. I was pretty damn close. It's over here somewhere. There we go, I got it. And where was that Norman Ranger? There it is. Okay, it's kind of heading towards it, dude. Yeah, but it's also doing something out there with other ships. And the Scandi Singapore and the Skimmer Tide. These are all Norwegian ships, or at least their port of call is Norway, interestingly enough. Check your Discord, I showed the relations. I'm pretty sure I figured it out, dude, so... So, all right, I'm learning how to use this, right? Give me a freaking break. It kind of headed in that direction. Guys, I'm over it. It's fine. I mean, I don't know, dude. Considering the Norman Rangers with a bunch of other ships, and they're all similar port of call or similar port of origin, they're all flying the same flag. I'm guessing that it's doing something out here. I don't think that ship is our guy, even though that ship is big enough. It definitely is big enough. All right, well, I'll keep you guys informed, and I will learn how to use marine traffic in the meantime, okay? There is a Ars article here that I wanted to read just while we're talking about Ship 40. I was very interested in it. Hang on. All right. Neighbor asked me a question. All right, let's see what we got here. Experts warn current... This is the last article we'll do for the day. Experts warn current Starship heat shield tech is a dead end for rapid reef. Frick you, it is. All right. SpaceX successfully launched its Starship vehicle on Friday and appeared to demonstrate important, incredible steps towards fulfilling the massive rocket's immense promise. As soon as the vehicle's next flight, Starship could go orbital, begin delivering satellites into space, and potentially return to the launch site to be caught by the tower. All of this is impressive engineering on a gigantic scale. But despite the marked progress with the 13th test flight of Starship, one key issue, probably the key issue, when it comes to Starship's future remains unsolved. This concerns Starship heat shield, the roughly 18,000 ceramic tiles that protect the vehicle's underbelly during its fiery return through Earth's atmosphere. And some experts say that SpaceX's current approach may not get Starship to its ultimate goal of flying frequently at low cost. I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. Look, guys, even if the ship tile, all right, real quick, before we read any further, I'm sure Eric will talk about this. This is an Eric Berger article. He's a big guy over at Ars Technica for the science, for their science writing, right? He writes a lot about the space program. He's wrote a couple of books about SpaceX too, for what it's worth. I haven't read them. They seem to be nice. They seem to be good books from what everybody's told me, though. Look, even if the tiles need a month to refurbish, even if you need to refurbish a month, so like the same kind of thing as the space shuttle, there's one thing that the Starship program has that the space shuttle program doesn't, and that's mass production. The shuttles were essentially built in a hangar. They were built in a big freaking hangar, but a hangar that's not really designed to build more than one or two every once in a while. Like maybe one orbiter a year. Okay? SpaceX is building the Gigabays and Star Factory. They are quite actually building an assembly line to manufacture and mass produce Starships and Raptors. Even if Starship's thermal protection system doesn't achieve full rapid reuse, say they need to refurbish it for about a month, SpaceX has the facilities, they have the production facilities to be able to make a ton of these things, and they have the servicing facilities to be able to turn them around pretty damn fast. It's not a problem. It really isn't an issue. Now, with that all being said, I'm interested what these experts have to say. So they can replace a whole heat shield in 2 weeks. Yeah, Ken's pretty much coming to the same conclusion that I am, Milge. A dead end. Starship's current thermal protection system is a dead end for all missions that require full and rapid reuse, says Dan Raskin. Dan, a former NASA engineer who studied heat shield materials for nearly 4 decades at Ames Research Center. Rasky is credible. He co-invented pica, the material used for Crew Dragon's heat shield. Yeah, pica is a phenolic impregnated carbon ablator. It's an ablative heat shield, i.e. non-reusable. NASA confronted the same issue a half-century ago during development of the space shuttle, which used thousands of lightweight ceramic tiles to insulate the vehicle's aluminum structure. Although the tiles worked fairly well, the U.S. Space Agency was never able to crack the code on rapid reuse. And that was absolutely not because of the tiles, but, whatever. Each tile required post-flight inspection, so reuse of the space shuttle orbiters remained expensive and time-consuming. Yeah, they had a way to get around that. The way to get around that was to make more shuttles. Like, that's not, like, my opinion. That was the plan. That's why they built 2 OPFs. I digress. SpaceX has some advantages over the shuttle. Starship's steel structure is far more tolerant of heating, capable of withstanding temperatures up to 800 Celsius, where there are tile failures. So some burn through is probably acceptable. I mean, it's not, but all right. However, according to a new analysis by Rasky and 2 other space industry officials, former NASA astronaut Charlie Camarda and the head of the NASA transition team for the Trump-Vance White House, Charles Miller, significant challenges were made for rapidly reusing Starship. Pica? I've been saying pica. I've been calling it pica for like 15 years, Nervous. But I'm I am willing to default to your judgment in this regard, dude. I mean, tomato, maybe. Everyone I know says pica. Yeah, maybe, it's entirely possible that I've been saying it wrong for, 15 years. Pica sounds like the eating disorder. But I'm not hungry. Whatever. Nervous. I'm interested in what these guys have to say. Charlie Camarda knows a lot. He was a NASA astronaut that specialized in thermal protection systems. So Charlie knows what he's talking about. Charles Miller, I'm not too sure about. I've heard Dan Rasky's name before. I can't point to any one specific time where I heard his name, but a need for rapid reuse. Following Flight 13 last week, the experts noted that only a few of Starship's ceramic tiles were lost during the flight, obviously a good thing, and the heat shield protected Starship during the re-entry process such that it made a controlled descent and landing. However, in SpaceX's drone footage of the landed Starship in the Indian Ocean, there were notable white streaks across the heat shield. All of these appeared to originate at the boundaries between the tiles, suggesting hot gas may have penetrated these boundaries. All of these, okay, all right. These were also, there were also indications of cracked tiles and broken edges. Yeah, Aqualex, it's very strange. It's very strange. I mean, you're absolutely right. Wait, was that a miss? Why'd you wait? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you're right, dude. Yeah, the mods timed you for swearing. All good. Yeah, this is all the different heat shields coming through. These ones had holes in the shield on purpose. That's why there's a lot of rust coming from them. But if you look at Flight 13, she looks okay. Flight 12 looks pretty damn good, too. Am I in the minority that I somewhat agree with them? Ryan, it really comes down to how much ablation of the gap filler happens. Dude, I didn't see enough white streaks there, and this is my own opinion about tiles. What do I know about them? I don't know. I know a good deal about thermal protection systems, not as much as like somebody that works in the industry, but I know what I'm talking about. I'm confident enough to be dangerous there. Some ablation does happen with reusable heat shields. That's why the shuttle tiles, if you look at them when they're new, they're nice and shiny and black. And then if you look at any of the space shuttles right now, you can always tell tiles that got replaced because they're not shiny and black, they're dull and gray. Right? Ablation happens with tiles. It always does. It just a little bit. It always happens on the first time you send something through. That's something that happens. My guess is that the gap filler, my guess is that the gap filler was not shimmed to the correct height to demonstrate supersonic or hypersonic flow over the tiles. So some of the gap filler did get ablated. It's not a lot, guys. Those streaks aren't a big deal. It's not a lot. It's really just around the areas that seem to get the hottest, which does make sense. Right? The areas that get the hottest have the most dynamic pressure built up on them during hypersonic flow, right? That's how it works. The areas, basically the part that goes through reentry first, right? Which is basically the bottom of the starship. The bottom center of the starship is always going to get hotter than the sides because it's closer to the hypersonic boundary, right? And there's a stagnation point in between the boundary and the tile, right? So there is going to be some ablation of tiles. That does happen. My guess is that they filled the gap. There's too much gap filler there, but the gap filler ablated itself off anyway. I'll bet you if they sent that heat shield through again, provided Ship 40 would ever fly again, probably unlikely. But if it ever did, I bet you they could send it through and I'll bet you it'd be fine. I bet you it wouldn't have the white streaks on it. Now, there were some tiles that did fail. Absolutely right. There were some tiles that failed. Maybe they weren't attached correctly. The failure of the tiles seems to be completely non-uniform. Like they're not clustered in areas. They're just kind of all over the place, which tells me that that's a QC thing for installing tiles, and they'll get better at it over time, right? With mass production. So they're not, the heat shield isn't like fully reusable because you still had some tiles fail, but that's just from the installation process. That's going to get sorted out very quickly. It'll plane it smooth, exactly. Hey Yarg, what's up? My thinking after seeing the streaking from the edges is, should the tile surfaces be slanted slightly rather than flat? They are. Look. The edge of the tile is beveled just a little bit. See this little guy? That's what you're talking about. See that edge? Yes, this is a real tile. Yes, I can show it to you. It's not a big deal. The gap filler isn't a precision install anyway. Why trim it perfect if the plasma will do it for you? Bingo. Kind of, but also not. What, you missed the second half of what I said. I truncate responses because there's too many of you. So the trailing edge of one tile slightly sticks over the leading edge. Like chainmail? So what's going to happen is the flow isn't going axially. Oh, it's not going longitudinal. It's axial to the tiles. So the heat's coming at you this way with the tiles. So a lip over here is not going to do you much, except if Starship wants to change its angle of attack through re-entry. The lip isn't going to do anything. If anything, the lipped over tiles yard, when the ship comes through, plasma will get up into the lip and ablate the tile from the back, and it'll shear off. The hypersonics is weird, dude. Yeah. There's a reason why there's so much research into it nowadays. It's weird. It's very strange. It works in... Plasma works in very, very, very counterintuitive ways. You don't think it's going to do what you think it's going to do. Like, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I got to go wash my hands real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, I mean, guys, it's all, in Aqualex, that's right. That's what happened. The ablation is going to handle the gap filler shimming for you. That's why every ship has white stripes. I can't prove it. That's why every ship has the white streaks. I can't prove it, but that's what's happening. It's a fibrous tile, guys. You do not want to touch it with bare hands. Or it's like touching fiberglass. Don't want to do that. SpaceX is aware of the challenges. We should stop here to point out that SpaceX is not oblivious to the magnitude of this heat shield challenge, nor lithely whistling past the graveyard. On various podcasts and ex-social media postings, SpaceX founder Elon Musk has repeatedly stated that solving the reusable heat shield problem is one of the toughest problems the company faces. Hypersonic turbulent flow causes all type of boundary layer microvortices that can focus heat flow and loss. Bingo. And that's what happened. I mean, Patrick, if the gap filler isn't shimmed correctly, it's going to create that turbulent flow. I'm trying not to get too much into detail because people get confused when you start using stuff like hypersonic boundary layer and microvortices at supersonic and hypersonic speeds. Like people, I can feel people in the chat going, yeah, I knew that. Of course that happens, you know. But yeah, absolutely. Hypersonics are weird, man. It's very strange phenomenon going on. All right. Musk expounded this, saying that a reusable heat shield is the biggest problem that remains for Starship. If you want to be able to land it, refill propellant, and fly again, you can't do this laborious inspection of 40,000 tiles. Yeah, okay. To address this challenge, the company has made substantial investments in new formulations for tile materials, standardizing shapes, and more. And it has been rigorously testing various approaches during Starship's experimental flight campaign. The condition of the heat shield has improved. Starfer, you're saying the condition of the heat shield has improved with every flight. I'm optimistic. Brother, look, I'm a space shuttle nutcase, just like Chris, Sawyer, you know, everybody over at NSF. I'm a space shuttle nutcase, dude. I know good and well what those tiles, like how hard it is to do that. Like once again, I know a lot about it because I like the shuttle, right? I can talk about tiles a lot. With what I saw here, what I see right here, you're only getting ablation at the hottest points. The hottest points are the parts that re-enter first. Now, I don't know what's going on right there. That's my one kind of, that's weird. But up here, yeah, it's just the gap filler. The gap filler is ablating. Just a little bit. But look at all these other spots. They look fine. These tiles are okay. You could reuse this heat shield. Dare I say it, without any inspection. And this is just the prototype, right? This is why I think there's no rapid reuse without solving seam plasma flow zippering. There is no zippering happening with this, Baron. All right, let's keep going. The independent industry experts say they believe that SpaceX's approach to a modern thermal protection system represents a good incremental step forward from the space shuttle's tiles, but relies on the same fundamental solution. As such, SpaceX Heat Shield will likely be good enough to deploy a next-generation Starlink constellation, but experts are concerned that it will be unable to hit the flight rate needed, several hundred to thousands of low-cost launches annually for large settlements on the Moon and Mars, orbital data centers, and large-scale space-based solar power. Yeah, Drew, I don't know. No help from NASA, at least not yet. This is an area where NASA could probably help. Well, it seems like people at NASA just don't want to do the opposite of that. But the experts noted that SpaceX has not made substantial investments in thermal protection research for vehicles entering from low Earth orbit, speeds of Mach 25, for 3 decades. The underlying technologies on Starship, they note, are all based on work done for the Space Shuttle, NASP, it's National Aerospace Plane, or the X-33 programs. No one today, they said, is seriously investing in new and advanced thermal materials for orbital reentry. Oh, that's SpaceX's tile factory, by the way. Sorry, I felt like zooming in on some Cybertrucks. That's their gigantic tile assembly facility. That's where they manufacture the hexagonal tiles. But dude, look at these Cybertrucks though. Look at these Cybertrucks. Those are nice. And those tower segments, those are cool. We like those. Miller, who interviewed a number of senior NASA officials as part of the transition team work in late 2024, said he was told nothing. He was told nothing was in the basic research development pipeline. Now, to be fair, Eric's talking about NASA. But also, however, he said current and former NASA researchers in this area felt like there was some promising solutions to pursue. Based on all this, we recommend NASA create a new initiative to invest in Mach 25 thermal protection system research, development, and demonstrations. So far, that has not happened. Guys, all right, once again, I'll point out, this is from the Flight 13 thing. Look, I said this right when it landed. There are streaks. That is gap filler ablating off. Absolutely. Do you want this? No, not ideally. But like I said, tiles ablate off too, to an extent. That's why these tiles look gray instead of dark, because they got hot and they ablated. Now, check it out. There is some patterns to where these streaks are coming from, right? Obviously, that streak goes with the hypersonic flow because the thing ablated off and then got basically plastered against some of these tiles, right? Obviously, that's what happened. But you can actually see which tiles have gap filler here. Anything that has the white outline around it has that same gap filler that caused these ablative stripes right here. Now, if you look at the origin point on all of these stripes, I can count maybe, let's say, 50 tiles here. 50 tiles that have apparent gap filler ablation going on. It's random. They're completely random. It's non-uniform. It's completely random. These tiles right here, why did those ones have no gap filler ablation at all? These ones right there, those are fine. Those guys have gap filler on them. You could see the gap filler. Those came through just fine. These guys over here, where's their white stripes? It's correlative to differential heat on the vehicle, right? But also, there's no gap filler over here. There's no ablative streak over here. Why not? Why are those tiles okay? There's no rhyme or reason to these lines other than the streaks going with the hypersonic flow that the vehicle encounters during re-entry. I can say this, like, once again, guys, this isn't EJ's opinion. This is just physics. Like, I'm 100% sure that that's what that is. Because nothing else is white on the tile that would ablate like this. And every one of these stupid lines basically lead right to a seam. If you trace every single one of them, they all go to a seam line, right? And there's no apparent, like, if we really want to get technical, there's no apparent pattern to this, right? Like the streak that's coming off this tile right here, see that? The streak coming off that tile is not at all like this one, which is not at all like that one. There's no uniformity to this, and there's no pattern, which tells me that it's the gap filler. It's the gap filler was a little too wide in some areas because it's just that. It's just a gap filler. I'm gonna bet you dollars to donuts SpaceX knew that this would happen, and they did it on purpose to save themselves a step. Because why? Why sit there and trim and shim the stupid gap filler when the plasma will do it for you? Now, these adverse effects are definitely adverse effects. This isn't exactly what you want, but I think it's known behavior. I'm pretty damn sure. If I can see this, guys, me on my stupid computer, up in Massachusetts can see this from these pictures, SpaceX absolutely knows what this is. And there's probably people that know way more about it than I do. But look, this is completely non-uniform, and everything stems from the gap filler. These installations are designed to get done quick because SpaceX knows they need to turn around the heat shield correctly. I'm telling you, that's known behavior. The white streaks are not a failure mode. Absolutely not. They've happened on every single flight. Now look, Nick Cruz put this together. Nick Cruz Patain put this together. Look, every one of these has streaks. But even then, the streaks are more or less non-uniform. They are coming from the same spots, right? Which tells me they might need to increase tile thickness or change the gap filler seam around there, whatever. You could switch to an adhesive seam there, that'll work. Or it might not, who knows? But guys, the point is that, all right, see the red streaks, the red-orange streaks are from SpaceX doing thermal protection system tests, right? Like, but also at the same time, if you look at the amount of streaking from flight 10 to flight 13, it is significantly less. Like, look at that. That looks like someone had a paint gun and sprayed the bottom of the thing. They're dialing it in over time. Now, this shot might look like there's a little more streakage going on than flight 12. But the fact of the matter is that the sun from this picture is illuminating it and making it look worse. That's about the same because it landed on a cloudy day. Now, that isn't to say that there aren't tile failures. That's a failure right there. See this streak? That's a tile failure. There are tile failures right there on flight 13 on the aft flap seam. We know that that's a thing. But I'm going to go ahead and say as long as we can go off the operating principle that those tiles are similar to these tiles, I'm going to call that an installation problem because there's 10,000 of them and they're all installed very similar. What made that one fail over that one, over this one, over that one, right? The vast majority of these tiles seem fine. So that tells me QC. And QC will get fixed over time. That's it. That's a quality control problem. That happens from just not knowing how to put together a 10,000 tile heat shield. The more SpaceX makes ships, the more they will dial it in. It's hilarious to me that NASA's like, well, they're not going to be able to figure it out. Or the experts at NASA like, oh, they're not going to be able to figure it out. Bro, they launch one of these almost every 1 to 2 months now. Every single one of these is more data than NASA has. Check Rudy's message. Oh, hey Rudy, what's up? Sorry, I needed to put that into words and get it out on the internet. It's not don't get me wrong, thermal protection system is hard. It's not as big of a deal as that article says. I'm going to do something tricky, but do some research on ceramic matrix composites coated with zirconium diboride and hafnium diboride. Okay. With all due respect, can Eric wait a little bit? The team's cooking. Yep. Funny thing about your analogy on the plasma trimming, the gap filler, is the fact that I've had the same inside thought since flight 11. It happens. Tiles ablate, dudes. They do, to an extent. It's like taking... re-entry on these tiles is like taking a belt sander to them, at least on the first time. If you don't shim it right, it'll shim it for you. And ideally, you don't want it. You don't want the shimming to find a chink in the armor, so to speak. That's what those failed tiles are. They're tiles that aren't completely perfect. It has to be right. Ceramic matrix composites coated with zirconium diboride. Diboride. Okay, Rudy. I will do that. Thank you. Ultra-high temperature ceramic composites, UHT CMCs, engineered to endure extreme environments exceeding 2000 C. These metals rely on transition metal diborides for thermal stability, utilize silicon carbide SiC additions for oxidization sealing, and are formed via methods like polymer infiltration and pyrolysis, PIP. I said pip, and some people went, huh? Ceramic matrix composites coated or matrix alloyed with zirconium diboride, ZRB2. 2000 C, huh? 2000 Celsius is enough to come back from the moon, guys. That's enough. That is hot enough. 1600 C is what you encounter coming back from Leo. 2000, and if SpaceX dials it in, yeah, that's good enough for lunar reentry for Starship. I will tell you that right now. Once again, that's physics, baby. That's not like my opinion. That's physics. Prove your point, Rudy stuff not even flying yet. Yeah, man. Like how, like, dude, in that article, it says that, you know, oh, nobody's putting in the research for this stuff. Completely ignoring the fact that SpaceX is pouring billions of dollars into tile research. They have to dial it in for Mars. Trans-Earth injection from the moon or from Mars is going to encounter similar entry interface velocities, dude. It's very similar. I.e., if it can come back from the moon, it can come back from Mars. Absolutely. Patrick, what are you saying? If you have too many air pockets in a tile, the higher chance that the heating causes the air pocket to heat and expands and the tile breaks. Yes, exactly. That, like, if a tile isn't shimmed perfect with the gap filler, like if a tile is off just by a little bit, that's bad. That's going to cause a pocket of heat and it'll chip the tile off. But once again, it's random. The tiles that have failed on Ship 40 are completely random. Like, you believe it or not, there's no failed tiles here. I think maybe right there, maybe. This is all fine. Like I said, fellas, you could reuse, if that thing didn't fall in the ocean, you could reuse this. I will tell you that right now. You would be able to get another flight out of this. Now, how many flights would you be able to get out of it? I don't know. You could reuse this though. You'd need to replace a couple of tiles, but that's fine. And this is just the prototype. It flew already a couple weeks ago and we recovered it. You guys are cooking. I know exactly what mission that was. You guys are cooking. You guys are cooking, baby. See? How can somebody cope this freaking hard? Brother, look at the freaking hardware. There's billions of dollars worth of research being poured into a rapidly reusable heat shield. SpaceX is building 3 freaking launch pads at the Cape. They're going to build another star factory at Roberts Road. Anybody that thinks they're not going to solve this problem is out of their mind. And I'm not saying this as some crazy SpaceX fanboy, dude. Just Officer Murtaugh, look at the hardware. It's over. Riggs is gone. Do they x-ray something? Finish QC for the ship? I actually don't know, Finn. If Ship 41 comes back intact, do you think they will refly it? I don't think they'll refly Ship 41, at least not initially, Novacon. You'd really want to get some good data on an intact ship if it comes back and lands, right? But, yeah. Like, how can people sit here and say that, oh, well, no, NASA hasn't done research in 30 years on this, so SpaceX probably won't figure it out. How can you even insinuate that? What are you talking about, man? What? Dude, it's like, okay, all right. You ever watch your favorite sporting event, right? And the announcer says something so dumb, right? That you're like, what freaking game are you watching? Right? Like, your team wins and, you know, it's a great victory, right? And the announcer says something like, well, you know, that they barely got through by the skin of their teeth. It's like, bro, what game were you watching? You're not watching the same game that I'm watching, but you're the commentator for it, which is weird. You might have another game on ESPN. I think you're looking at the wrong monitor, dude. Like, you, brother, what do you think? They're not going to figure this out? Are you kidding me? It's just like, okay, this same logic can be applied to blue. NG4 blew up. That sucks. That pad is toasted. It's going to take a while to rebuild it. Dude, does anybody here think that that is not going to happen? Does anyone here think that that's not going to happen? Now, we can sit here and circle jerk about how long it's going to take them, sure. But does anybody think the pad is not going to get rebuilt? Anybody think that, oh, New Glenn's never flying from that pad again? No, anybody that says that is nuts. What are you talking about? Like, what? What's going on here? Dude, Babe Watcher Bob. Babe Watcher Bob, $100 super chat. What the heck, dude? Real talk. Real talk here. But I'm often lurking. Wanted to thank you for all the great info and all your streams. Thanks again for a fellow masshole. Hell yeah, dude. That's right, dude. Go frickin' Sox. Go Sox, baby. And frickin' Mead frickin' hurt himself. What the frick, dude? We had him for one game. The guy breaks his wrist. The frick, dude. Anyway, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Hello from the South Shore. When did it fly, though? They didn't say anything about a Starship stream or blog. Didn't fly on Starship, Drunksoul. Dumb question. Is Blue learning and building more pads? Yes. Yes, they are. But anyway, Bob, hell yeah, dude. Thanks for the $100, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You rule, dude. Northeast supremacy. No, just kidding. Where? They have the lease to Complex 12, Sea Kraken. So, i.e., there is some room to expand. Maybe we should ask Chris Collinsworth. Well, Geek, I don't know. The Steelers played this game, and they just got through by the skin of their teeth. I mean, we're talking about a 6-possession game by the end of the fourth quarter, and man, they barely pulled it out. But I'll tell you, that was a great game that we saw there. It's like, dude, what game are you watching? You're not watching the same game as me. Like, dude, he does that all the time. It drives me up the wall. It's funny you knew exactly who I was talking about. You knew exactly who I was talking about, dude. That's really funny. Oh, boy. Yeah, these same experts said Falcon 9 will never land, let alone be reused. Yeah, freaking cope and see, dude. SpaceX is figuring it out. And you don't need to be a SpaceX fanboy to figure that out. All these labs have no funding to solve the problem, have been able to solve the problem. Therefore, this company that has funding can't solve the problem. That is what Bill, that is what he said, dude. That is what he said in that article. He typed that out and hit the post button. Bro, Eric, who hurt you? Who hurt you, man? Come on. Who hurt you, bro? You know that's not true. Some tiles around the end of the ship could be made a little thinner. You think so, ML? Or is that an MI? Let's see. Micah? You think so, dude? I mean, yeah. You can modulate tile thickness, sure. That's what the shuttle did. The shuttle has different thickness of tiles. That's part of the reason why the tiles weren't interchangeable from one spot to the other. Because depending on what aluminum is backing them would depend on the thickness of the tile. You really ought to remove the mic filter when you rant like this, just saying. Is it bad? It's probably for the better. How did she shoot? She shot well. Boom. It's noticeable, yes. All right, cool. Good to know. Actually, dudes, the only reason why I have the compressor on is so you don't hear me typing. But yeah, it's honestly quiet enough in here with the mini split, which is working amazing, by the way. Yeah, it's good enough with the mini split that, yeah, we could probably just keep it off. I think the last paragraph tells you the goal of that article. What's the last paragraph say? Based on all this, we recommend that NASA create a new initiative to invest in Mach 25 thermal protection system research, development, and demonstrations. Yeah, you know what's funny? You were doing that 15 years ago. You know, maybe if you didn't stop doing that 15 years ago, you'd have more research done. Just putting it out there. You heard every other word. I essentially said that, guys, there's no way Eric Berger doesn't know this. Like, and I'm not trying to say, like, I was like, what I was saying is like, who hurt you? Who hurt you, man? You're cool. You usually love Starship. What happened? What happened, bro? Well, who hurt you? You get like NASA guys coming to your house in the middle of the night or something, right? Like, no, like, who hurt you? What happened? Like, he didn't find a horse head in his bedroom or something, did he? With like a NASA worm logo on the side. Like, who hurt you? With the success of the most recent flight, do you think they'll go for a catch next time out? Oh yeah, Badger. They're doing that. Anyway, Space News went an extra hour. I do have 4 more things. I made a trip to the P.O. box. And we have some stuff. We have some stuff to unbox. So we're going to end the Space News with an unboxing. So this first one, I'll admit, Mason here sent it. And Mason, if you see this, I apologize that it took so long to open this. Yeah, my fault. I assure you, this stuff all has to do with space. What's in the box? I'm trying to open it to let you know what's in the box. Give me a second. Bro, you use duct tape to ship this thing. You know they have shipping tape, dude. Young Moosey, I love you. I love you too, buddy. What is this? Come on. All right, what do we got here? What do we got here? I'm making progress towards opening up this box that has been taped over like 30 times. Man. What do we got here? It's a box. That was in the box. I don't want to send a box that's just 200. What the hell is this? There's a note. Dear EJ, thank you for all the laughs and learnings across the years. I'm so grateful you continue to help teach others about rocketry, spaceflight, and Mustang. And cars, too. Rocketry, spaceflight, and science, and rockets, and cars. All right. Stay here. Stay as long as you can. For the love of God, cherish it. You gotta cherish it. I hope you and Brimo enjoyed the movie, and I hope you love this book as much as I have. It's a clear book cover, including wrapped around the outside. I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany. P.S. If leather-bound books are cool, consider me Miles Davis. Mason. Enjoy the movie. Yo! Yo! Wait a minute, dude. Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes. Yes. Dude. Hardcover Project Hail Mary. Hell yeah, dude. This has been sitting for months. Yeah, I get it. Thank you. My wife almost died. Leave me alone. This is sick, though. No, I'm not kidding. Dude, this is super nice. Yeah. Wow. That's freaking sick, dude. Wow. I'm putting this with my books. Hold on. Putting this in my bookshelf. It's going next to the X33 manual. Yeah, of course I have an X33 manual. You don't? Keep up, chap. Now, keeping this note. I'm going to frame this. Frame the note. That's awesome. Mason, if you see this, thank you, buddy. That's super cool. Would have been nice if I got to open it timely, but that didn't happen. All right, so I have 3 other things that came in a box of other things, and these are from someone. They're called Item 1, Item 2, and Item 3. Mason will see it. He's been notified. Cool. So, Item 1. Item 1 is a bag of dirt. It's a bag of dirt. Oh, look, a bag of dirt. Item 1 is a rock. Now, this rock is a very interesting rock called coquina. Now, the location from where it was dug up makes it that much better. So he's a dirtbag? I mean... This is a rock and dirt that was part of the excavation that was directly underneath OLIT 2, better known as the 39A Starship Tower. Nice dirt. Oh. Well, that's pretty cool. This is just the dirt that's under 39A's tower. This is nice dirt. You know, it's not every day that you get a bag of dirt. Actually, we were just talking about this. This is the topsoil. The topsoil that you have to excavate. Lick it, coward. Yeah. Yeah, remind me not to take chat's advice again. All right. This is item number 2. Weird thought. Sprinkle a little around the garden. Then you could say you eat rockets. What's item number 2? It's a giant film canister. Item number 2 is concrete in a plastic container. Yep. Nope, that's not coming off. Orbital Launch Integration Tower. Nice. This is not dirt. This is concrete. It's heavy. This container has a purpose. They put this concrete in the container to make this shape for what's called break tests. They then go and test how strong the concrete is by crushing it. No, it's a core core sample. This concrete is the concrete that they used when Relativity that had its flame trench made. Launchpad. Big pour cleared to 5,000 psi, flame trench from January of 2025. Nice. This is a piece of LC16. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they're doing analysis on the core samples. Good stuff. That's pretty cool. I don't hate. So I got dirt and rocks. All right. Wait, that's right. That is part of a flame trench. Read the bottom. I did. All right. Item 3. All right, let's open it before I read what it is. What's the bag of dirt? It's dirt from 39A Jam, which is pretty cool. Tenth level, south side spline plate. This is 1/8-inch steel with 2 holes in it. Item number 3. Well, you always said you like big buildings and infrastructure in space, so this item is what's called a scab plate. It says spline plate on it. It's a reinforcement plate used for the big girders and columns. This particular plate is from a brand new building being built here called Gigabay. Lick it? All right. I've licked part of the Gigabay. Can you say that? Nope. Yeah, there you go, Chris. Do that on the flame trench. What's it taste like? Paint and metal. Put it in the coronet. Dude, we should cut a piece off. We should cut a piece off and weld it into the car. That would be kind of cool. This is a scab plate from the Gigabay. That's pretty neat. Like I said, 1/8-inch. This is 1/8-inch steel. Nah, don't do that. Nah, you're right. This is too cool. There's more notes that say don't read off stream. Huh. What do bits even do? Ben, you just gave me $1. Does it taste like extra tall booster capacity? Yep. Yes, it does. So I have a piece of LC16, 39A, and the Gigabay. We were just looking at all this stuff on Google Earth. This is pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Does Mass have front license plate laws? Yes, we do. Because people here don't like having fun. Well, this stuff's pretty damn cool, and I'm putting it in my spaceflight collection, my cool collection of stuff that's in the side of the office of things that I like showing and bragging about that I have. Goalie, that was all from Goalie. Thank you very much, dude. Super cool. Super cool. And Mason, if you're out there, thank you very much for the Hail Mary book, dude. That thing is awesome. I wish I'd gone to the P.O. box earlier, dude. But yeah, I'll do that more. Make it into the sun visor? Nah. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. How do you have a piece of Gigabay if it isn't even completed yet? So, James, that's a scab plate. This is a guess. This is a guess. I'm pulling this out of my tail. I have no idea what a scab plate is. It was probably used in the assembly of Gigabay. How did Goalie get this stuff? Goalie knows people. It's not who you know, it's what you can, no, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Or something. You got a P.O. box? Yes. The info for it is on Discord, guys. He's Elon in disguise. Cool. Next thing you know, a raptor will appear in that P.O. box. Oh, it's funny you mentioned that. No, I'm not elaborating. I'll show you tomorrow. It's down in the house. It's not what you think it is. But you'll like it. I got a box from Digital Zeros a couple months back. I have the contents of that box are on display. Oh, let's just say it's over my fireplace. We'll call it a day. What do you mean by that? I don't know. Nice, selfish. That's funny. But man, you're lucky that guy can roll with the punches. He has every right to punch you right in the face. I knew that stuff had to be from Goalie, the only man I knew that could score that kind of gear. Yeah, dude. All right. That was a long space news, dude. That was 3.5 hours. Somebody just really just want to keep backing up over at Starbase Live. And how about, yeah, we can end with this. This is fine. Inside the cockpit of the F-22 Raptor at Oshkosh. Okay. Okay, weather guy. Bro, that is so cool. Yeah! Minimum radius turn. Oh, man. Oh, I wish Pythos was here. He would appreciate this. He looks bored. He ain't bored. He's locked in, dude. So look at how when he's flying, he's looking where the plane's gonna be, not where it's going, where it's gonna be. That's how you fly. Well, at least with these things. You look where the plane's gonna be. If you fly the fighter jets in battlefields, that's important to understand. Looking at where the plane's gonna be is it's like when you're driving a car. You're driving down the highway, you're not looking at the car in front of you. You're looking 500 feet down the road. You're looking 5 cars ahead of you. Because you look down the road, not what's in front of you. Look at where the car's going, not where it is, right? Planes are the same way. Same idea. But it's locked in because it's in 3 dimensions, not 2. He looks like Das and his name is Laz. Yeah, it could be Das. You don't know. His patch says fly good, don't suck. You know what, dude? When you're assigned to, like, fly one of these things around, that's probably good advice. Dude, this minimum radius turn. Man, that would hurt. That's Oshkosh, man. Dude, the fact that the plane can do that and doesn't fall out of the sky speaks to how much power is coming out of the back of this thing. That is a very, very tight turn. Holy crap, look at all the turbulence over the wing. That's nuts, dude. I heard it, Tessa, yeah. You know what gets me, dude? In my brain, an F-22 is still like a new plane. It's weird to me seeing an F-22 with like scratches in the paint. That's just weird. Like, you can't believe Ryan hates F-35s? I mean, I like F-35s, dude. Speaking of that, that's what, like 9 Gs? Probably up there, Drew. Yeah, that's what I would say. Oh, no, this is not an F-35. It's an F-16. But it does say fly good, don't suck. On the air brakes. And Gorilla Glue on a screw hole. Isn't that strange, dude? Fly good, don't suck. You know, that's really good advice. Just saying. All right. Space and Rocket Review. We're going to move over to After Hours now. So I'm going to jog the YouTube VOD. If you're on Twitch, stay tuned. We're going to do some tactical control spray shooting commanding thing. F-22 is from the 90s. Don't this shh. Shh. Quiet. Shh. 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 And on that bombshell, that'll do it for Space News. Stay tuned here real quick if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next one. Another Space News tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. On Twitch, I will be back momentarily for After Hours. And YouTube as well. But, yeah, don't go anywhere. But you can go if you want. But don't go anywhere. And thank you.